I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back, everybody.
We're on an even number again for
I
you.
know, I'm so happy.
Episode 32.
Nice even math for me. The odd numbers don't divide well, and then there's decimal points, and it's just a big mess.
We're going to keep with our track record. We've been doing really good of not getting too sidetracked and just getting straight into
just going off on a giant tangent before we
getting
do
our
this.
socials done. The one thing before we start our socials that we have to do.
Yeah.
We have to apologize.
I'm very sorry, Commander Pop Culture. We referenced you as Colonel last week. I really don't want to do any more push-ups. Please forgive me.
We are sorry. We both did.
He is Commander Pop Culture. He is not a colonel. He will get very mad at you.
So please apologize.
Yeah, in the comments, say we're sorry, they're sorry. Don't make Bo do any more push-ups. My poor noodle arms are tired.
Help us out, guys. Also, it means unfortunately, if you heard us first last week, you need to readjust your drawings if you had started one.
Yeah, got to change. You got to change the eagle to.
If you had put a rank insignia, you now have to adjust.
You have to adjust it. Sorry. Hope you don't have to start all the way over.
If you were just doing a profile pic.
Totally fine.
Yeah, you probably didn't have anything in his face. Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're probably good.
Just like the big chest.
Yeah. Now that we've got that addressed and taken care of.
Riding a movie projector tank. I wish I could draw. I would do that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Now that we've got that taken care of and out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the socials. Like I said, do those quick and just get into everything. So first, like we usually do, it's the meta apps. It's, again, I keep saying that Threads is involved.
I still don't believe you. I don't believe that's a real thing.
It's there. It's not been touched by us for months at this point, but it's there.
It's there. Oh,
If you are a Threads user and you've never used any other social media, you think we stopped after like episode 8.
No one was talking to us, so if you talk to us, maybe we'll use it. There we go. There's the solution.
All of the other apps there, Instagram and Facebook, people do like to talk to us.
Yeah, they do like us. That's great.
It's great. We love interacting with you guys.
Right.
It's awesome that we're building up a little bit of a community.
Isn't it, though?
Everything in Meta is going to be at Kentucky Fried Critics. No spacing, no caps, no anything. Just Kentucky Fried Critics. All one word, one something. No spacing.
It's all smashed together.
Yeah. That's going to be a slash or an at. You know the drill. Whichever one it needs, that's what it is.
You know how they work.
Yeah.
We don't, but you do.
Well, I do. I'm not wasting the breath space on it.
It'll take too long to explain. Probably wouldn't get it anyway.
The next one is usually YouTube. That one's the one that's a little bit different. It stands out a little bit. We've embraced it. We've embraced it now. It is our difference at this point.
It's
so
ours
people
now.
can just deal with it. And so that one's going to be at KFC Riddicks.
Just sounds so good. KFC Riddicks.
So again, if you know what a Riddick is or you want to figure out what a Riddick is, after YouTube, we're going to go on and hit our website. Our website's going to be shows.acast.com/Kentucky-Fried-Critics.
Hold on. The dance is almost over.
You changed it up this week. You're definitely doing. You got some reggae beat going.
I got like some smooth jazz going right now.
I can tell it was
a little trombone.
Definitely different than what it usually is. I could tell. You changed it.
It was a slower beat today.
That's our website. That's where you're going to find again every episode. If you want to download them from there. If you don't have a preferred podcast player, but I would imagine you do, and you're going to find us there too. So I mean, it is what it is.
Dealer's choice. Pick your favorite.
Yeah, but every other social media is there, so that way if you just want to go to one hub to find everything, it's there instead of having to go to each one separately.
Only one click away.
There you go. And our personal ones are also there.
Yeah, you can add me. I don't care.
The last thing that we're going to hit is
the OG.
The email.
The original gangster.
It's the one where you're going to tell us
what
ideas,
do you think we should do?
Thoughts. I suppose if you're going to make us a picture, maybe you would email it.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good place to put it. I'm
not really sure what kind of size that file would be. I don't know.
I've never been emailed art before.
Well, I mean, email would definitely be able to handle that. All right. That's all of our socials. We got that taken care of pretty quick, I think.
We want to talk about this beer.
Yeah.
What are we drinking? We are drinking West Sixth Brewing Company's Sinise Imperial Stout.
To say on the can there, it's dark and delicious. Man, they got the dark.
Yeah, they did. There it is. I couldn't see it on the can.
It is literally like a Coke.
Yeah, it poured out.
When you pour it,
Coke.
it looks like carbonation almost.
Right? Like
it forms a nice head like it's supposed to get. But like once the head dies off, it looks like, as you're pouring, it almost looks like carbonated beverage.
Oh, you could easily trick somebody. Like, yo, man, give me a Coke. Pour this in there. They'd never know.
It's
until
it's
they
good.
take a drink, obviously.
I've only taken a couple of sips. I enjoy it so far. But before I'm going to tell you it's delicious, I'm going to reserve that right until I get a little bit further in here. It is definitely good.
Yeah.
Let me tell you more when I get to when we're done here. I've had enough to give you a better opinion.
Might be one of those beers where it's like starts off good, right? And then by the end, you're like, I don't want to drink this anymore.
Well, I don't know, but this one's definitely going to, not only is it an Imperial Stout, it is stout.
Stout.
It is 11%. This is a strong one.
Yeah, don't drink too many of these. Even I've gone easy.
One of the last times that we did a beer this strong, I want to say, was minus the barrel aged stuff at Christmas, because that always gets you. But just like a traditional regular
stout. It was
our first one.
It was Sandlot.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was before you were used to this.
My tolerance has grown since then.
We'll see.
Were you trying to call me out here?
Well, I'm just saying we're gonna see. We'll literally, there will be recorded evidence. I'm not making a threat. I'm just saying people will hear.
My Scottish heritage jumped up like, oh, is that a threat there? You're challenging me to a bit of a drinking contest, are you?
I'm just saying that the people will hear, man.
Fast forward 45 minutes. I'm very drunk.
Yeah, my point was just saying maybe we don't make statements like that until we know.
Yeah, wait a minute, Bo. Hang on, buddy. Let's see.
I wasn't calling you out. I was saying maybe we should reel back. Maybe
reserve judgment.
Don't talk smack to the beer, because the beer might smack you.
Ooh, that's good. I liked that. We should put that on a shirt.
So that's what I was getting at. But yeah, we'll see. Again, the other thing though is the last time we only had one, right? It was a 16 ounce.
Yeah, it was a tall.
So it was good. We got a couple more this time.
Yeah, we got more than that this time, don't we?
So we'll just see how it goes. We'll see.
I'm up for it. Let's go.
All right.
Bring it.
So they know what beer. Do they know what movie yet? We've not told them.
No, we didn't, did we? I mean,
Snake Eyes. But here's the thing. And you already know as well as I do. A lot of people were throwing out
the G.I. Joe movie.
G.I. Joe. Are we the type?
Right. Do you think we went and saw that movie? Really?
I might go see some adaptations and stuff, or some new versions of things. The live action G.I. Joe though was never it.
No.
It never looked like what I would want a live action G.I. Joe to look like.
It didn't have Sergeant Slaughter in it. I'm out.
And so I was just never interested. Yeah. I never saw any of them. Certainly not. What was that? That one's like the spin-off third movie?
The third one.
And well, again, it's like a spin-off.
Yeah, even. It looks like a video game trailer for most of it.
Yeah, that was not.
It's not even good CGI.
Yeah, so that was not our play here, guys.
We're doing the Nic Cage Snake Eyes.
The 1998 Nic Cage
thriller. It's not really an action movie.
Suspense thriller. Yeah. He's trying to figure out
what happened.
Again,
we'll get to it.
But
shit happens. It's crazy.
This is a weird movie, guys.
I liked this movie.
If you've not seen it, I recommend it. I've not seen it since maybe when it came out.
Yeah, when it came out.
Again, almost 30 years ago.
It was a long time ago.
25?
28? 27?
26.
I would hit the number eventually. Just keep counting down until I got it right.
It's been a long time, and now I feel like, why haven't I been watching this more?
Why didn't anybody talk about this movie more? This movie was great.
I was literally a child. Well, not a child. I was a teenager the last time I watched this, and I definitely enjoyed it then. I don't know why I never went back to it.
Yeah, right? I went and saw it in a theater, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I don't think I was that dedicated, but I think I owned it. I had it, like Dad had it, and of course, like a lot of his stuff became mine. So I think I owned it.
I really loved Con Air and like watched it on repeat, and then this movie came out, and I was like, I love Nic Cage.
So yeah,
I made Mom take me.
We should definitely address that.
That was like the last time I saw it.
This is definitely the era pre-tax money making Nic Cage, right? This is when he still was just like picking roles that were hopefully going to do something and go somewhere.
Yeah. Not just, I'll do it.
Not just I need a paycheck because I have massive tax debt because I didn't think about this
shit,
stuff.
Weatherman.
Well, no, that's not even. I mean, that might be one of them, but I'm talking about when he started doing the massive amount of like direct to DVD stuff. Yeah, like straight to streamers and stuff. Well, he's done a ton of stuff. Again, that one went to theaters.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah. We all know there was a point in his career.
Where he's just like, I'll do whatever.
It doesn't matter which movie.
I need money.
You guys all know you've seen at least one of his movies from that point in his career. that
I
point
like
of-
them.
yeah.
I think they're great.
Well, I mean, not all of them.
Not because of, you go give him the Oscar or anything, but just they're fun. They're so bad, they're fun.
Sometimes
Those are good movies.
he's done some bad ones. I mean, when you start doing anything and everything that comes across
Oh,
your
yeah.
table,
No, not all of them are great.
sooner or later, some of them aren't even just so bad they're good. They're just so bad
It's
they're
like,
bad.
why are you? Yeah, but that's not this Nic Cage.
No,
This is peak 90s
This is
Nic Cage.
hitting you with some crazy eccentric like deliveries, a little bit of a head shake going on
Yeah.
as he's saying it.
There's-
talking real fast
Yeah.
and anxious.
He might possibly be on drugs.
Yeah, he's hitting you with that side eye look.
Right,
Yeah,
like-
that really wide,
His
but
eyes
side
get real fucking big and shit.
tilted his head. You all know.
You know
it's
the
the it's
look.
the meme look.
Yeah,
it's the
it's
one that's on T-shirts and stuff. You know the one.
Yeah.
It's not from this movie, but I
No.
mean he does the look in
I
this
think it's
movie
from
for sure.
Vampire's Kiss. I think it's from the
But he
movie
does
that
it
meme's
in
from.
this one for sure.
Yeah, I love Nic Cage.
This is directed by Brian De Palma. So again, we're
Nice.
talking famous. We're talking
Yeah,
Scarface,
Scarface.
Carlito's Way, 100 other movies.
Yeah.
We don't need to go over all of them.
We'd be here all day.
Yeah, you guys can look it up if you need to. But again, we're just saying this is prestigious. Again, we're pointing that out because
Why are we not talking more
why,
about this
why
movie?
are more people not talking about this movie? Not
I
even
think
just
we're-
us. Why
I
are
was gonna say, I
more
think-
people?
I really think we're the only ones talking about this movie. None of the other movie podcasts I listen to, I think, have talked about it. Should.
It's a good one.
Right. Maybe we'll inspire them.
We should all be talking
Yeah, we
about
should
this.
all be talking about this.
Again, it's not even just Nic Cage, right? So far, all we've told you guys is that it's Nic Cage and it's Brian De Palma.
We got fucking Lieutenant Dan.
Gary Sinise as military.
Yeah, which I thought was even better. As soon as when he came up on screen, I was just like, Lieutenant Dan.
In uniform. You're like,
Right.
it's like he never left. We also have John Hurd. You know who that is?
Who was he in the movie? Because I know the name.
He's the billionaire.
Is he? Oh, yeah, that fucking guy.
Do you know who he is? You know what else he's been in? He's
He's
the
one of
dad
those-
from Home Alone.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
The movie also has Kevin Dunn. He's the announcer guy. He's one of our. That's one of
One
those
of our people?
Yeah, that's one of those people.
One of those guys.
Stan Shaw. He's the boxer. I've seen him in
I've
things.
seen him in shit,
I could
but
not
I was like,
tell you a
what
single
the-
thing
me
it
too.
is.
I was like, every time I'm like, dude, I know that haggard face, man.
He is menacing looking
Right?
as
He's
this
a
boxer too.
mean-looking fucker.
He looks huge. He's got some shoulders are massive.
Right? The dude he was fighting didn't. He just looked like a pudgy dude. Like that.
We'll get to
but he
that
looked
guy.
mean.
We'll get to that guy. I hated that character.
Yeah,
the
that
other
was
boxer.
annoying.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah.
My last one I really want to point out. Again, there's people. I'm not trying to downplay anybody that's in the movie, guys.
We always say everyone's role was important.
They all are. I guess the last one of those guys. We also have. Well, I don't even know if she's the girl is there. Would you say she's really that important though? The one with the wig.
The one with the wig girl? No, because I don't even think they say her name until the very end. Like, I seriously watched the movie twice and I'm taking my notes and I'm like, what is her goddamn name? They never say her fucking name. And then right at the end, they say it finally.
It's like Juliet. Right?
It's Julia something. But I was like, oh, thank fuck. They gave me her goddamn name finally.
Sorry, I'm gonna butcher her name. Carla Gugino. She's the only. Well, I mean, there's two women in the movie that are important, but
Yeah.
she's like the main
main
important woman.
one.
And then the only other person I want to mention, and this is the one. He's a big one. Everybody's gonna know, but he's got a small part. Luis Guzman.
Yeah.
He's in everything,
He's
man. I
fucking
love
in
Luis
everything,
Guzman.
man.
He's funny. He's great. Small part.
No, not a big part, but it was awesome. I liked it. He was funny.
He always is.
He's always great.
Again, there's other people. There's some more of those guys in the movie for
guys.
sure. But that's it. That's the most of the people you guys are gonna know.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah,
And
those are
again,
the
this is a movie-
most recognizable.
Well,
People.
this is a movie where those guys are only generally speaking in the background or in the very beginning, because once it kind of starts going, we're only on the main people.
yeah, the main people.
I think we've talked about it enough. We can at least go ahead and say this. This is a movie that follows a conspiracy.
Yeah,
Once we get past the setup, it is literally just basically the players involved
yeah.
in the
And
conspiracy.
you get like different bits from different people, and then
Yeah.
you get to it's
And
a
so-
thriller. You get to piece it all
and
together.
so
at the
a
end.
lot of the people that you see are only in the, because once you start seeing everything, you're just seeing it from different points of views. You're seeing the same thing. So you're seeing the same people.
Yeah.
So you get past the very beginning when some people could randomly pop up and you're not going to see anything else new.
And then you get like the end conclusion bit.
Yeah.
It's like the only different part. The whole middle section is just like, this guy saw this. This guy did this. What about that
And this guy
What
saw
did
it
he
from
say?
a different view.
Yeah.
And he saw
what about
this.
that camera?
It tells a little bit of a different kind of story.
I thought it was awesome.
Before we get started with how it starts, I want to point out the craziness of what it is that starts the movie. It is a 20-minute steady cam. It's not solid one take, but there is 12 minutes of it that's one solid take. There's no stopping. Everything happened. And
I guarantee you that whole beginning segment of Nic Cage just walking through the building, that was all one take.
Yeah, it's definitely parts of that. You know what I mean? Like, it's somewhere in there. Because it's the whole first 20 minutes is close to one take, right?
Like they're two, max.
Well, because again, like, all they did was segment something that was the exact same thing into it. So, I mean, but
awesome.
12 minutes is all one solid. They got it one fluid motion. If you've not seen this and you watch it the first time, it's going to blow your mind. Yeah, because there's a lot of movement. There's a lot of things going on. The very first opening, this is how we'll segue into it because there's no music.
No music this time.
So I don't even have to tell you anything about that. So we're just
going straight
into it. One of the very first tricks to mess with you about the fact that it's going to be one solid steady cam shot is that you start zoomed so far into what we find out is a monitor
of the reporter lady outside
on the news. So you think that you're going to be doing a takeaway from the news when it's finished.
You're going to cut away from outside,
but
inside.
You don't because it's a zoom in on the monitor. So as soon as she's done talking on the news, we just pull away and then start rolling into the scene,
into the shot. It's so good.
It's genius, dude.
Oh, it's so good.
I loved it.
Oscar. Where's the Oscar for this? Like, I mean, not even like best.
Well, again,
movie,
where is the
just
conversation?
Yeah, for real. A lot of the shots in this movie are genius.
Well, yeah, we'll tell them to you when we get to them. They're in my notes. Like again,
right,
you guys know us. We don't usually do that.
Yeah, we don't usually do that. But
so
for it stands out.
For it to be something that we both were like, I got to talk about.
I got to talk about this.
It's got to be really mind blowing the way they did it. Back to what's actually happening now, not the why of it happening.
Why the news lady is outside.
Yeah, she is out there reporting to us that this is two things are going on. Yeah. One, it's like the storm of the century.
Yeah,
outside.
like hurricane, whatever the fuck's happening.
Two, huge boxing match,
heavyweight championship fight, and it's the last one in the building. It's going to get torn down and turned into a hotel,
Millennium
or
something.
The Millennium Falcon. I don't know.
As soon as she is reporting, she gets cut off halfway through her report, and they're like, go back to the very first thing you said. You referred to it as a hurricane.
Yeah, don't do that.
We're gonna need you to do this again, and it's a tropical storm.
A tropical storm.
And she seriously is just like, fuck this city. You
guys
guys are
spin
nuts.
everything in this fucking city. God damn it.
Atlantic City. We've not said this yet.
Yeah.
So again, you might be confused. I know we left a clue for you with some dice and some cards, and it was to hopefully help get you here.
Snake eyes.
Yeah, but those can also make you think that's Vegas. But I want to make sure. I want to make sure it's clear. Well, I just want to make sure it's clear. This movie is
in Atlantic City.
Yeah, the AC.
The AC.
As they keep like most of the characters. Yeah, most of the characters in the movie don't say.
No, it's just the AC.
The Sea Devils.
The Sea Devils.
Yeah, he's the Sea Devils. Yeah. But yeah, they're in Atlantic City. So we see the reporter is super pissed off.
Yeah,
she restarts it. She says it's a tropical storm.
Yeah, funny double take.
Yeah, she went right back into it. She was just like, fine, fuck. Like, I think it's stupid, but I'll do it. Yeah. And then we really get the actual opening scene.
Right. This is where we cut. We pull zoom away out from the monitor and we get.
Well, I don't even know if it's because it's a steady cam, so I don't know if it's a zoom out. I really think it's a roll.
You just rolled it out. Yeah, probably. And the pay-per-view host guy, the announcer dude, he's up there getting ready.
That's Kevin Dunn.
He's gonna be on the air soon as shit, and then Nic Cage comes up and he's like, hey, I'm on TV, what's up?
Yeah, and he's obviously friends with the reporter,
with the guy.
They start talking about how he wants to place a bet, but he's like I can't really do it.
Yeah, take it over to Jimmy.
He's like, I'm kind of connected to this, and I can't.
Yeah,
it'd look weird. Like,
so he's like, give him the money, and we'll take it over to Jimmy. He's down there in the tunnel somewhere.
Go.
Yeah, go. He's like, here's $50. He's like, oh, 50, you big high roller. Fine, 100, you dick. Giving him shit for just betting $50.
They're really wanting to lay into us the kind of guy.
Yeah,
Rick Santoro.
Ricky Santoro. Everybody loves Ricky. He's a shit talker.
Everyone knows him. He's walking around.
Yeah, he's walking around like he owns the place.
Again, he's a high roller. As he's walking, he pulls out
a gold gold cell phone. I loved it.
The day and age of this, like it's a flip phone, but it's even pre like Razor. Like I know even when people like not even people who were too young to remember, but even like when you think back yourself, if you're our age, you think flip phone, and you still probably have the thought in your head of a certain thinness because the last few years flip phones were getting
they
pretty
weren't
thin.
that thick.
So that's what's fresh in your head, right? No, this thing was massive,
like 3 inches thick,
and this crazy fake gold
plate
where you're just like, he thought he was pimp shit,
right? He's just like, I whip this out and I look so badass.
Well, and then throughout the movie, we only see a couple of scenes when he pulls it out.
Yeah, it's mostly in the beginning, but it's so funny.
When he talks on it, he says some crazy shit. Like, I don't even want to wait for when it comes up. We're talking about the phone now. Let's get it all done.
Let's do it.
He pulls it out. He's talking to some people a couple of times, and he says stuff like, you shouldn't say that on the cell phone.
Right? He's like, his girlfriend,
yeah, like, you shouldn't say that. Later in the movie, there's a point where they use walkie-talkies in a scene where you're like, but we know the man has a cell phone in his pocket.
Why don't you just call him?
Because literally it's just at a time where the people like they're not prevalent enough. Like that guy wasn't thinking to himself, oh, I bet you guy's got a cell phone so I can just call him to tell him where he should go. The guy was like, instead of doing that, let me go over here, steal a walkie-talkie from one of my men so that way you can go around with it. That's the era
Different
this
times,
is.
Man.
Cell phones it's such a weird in between, right? Like cell phones existed, but they were definitely treated way different than we treat them today.
Hollywood didn't quite know what to do with them yet. They were like, this is, we could put them in the phone, it'll look cool, but then they don't know what to do with it for the story.
It was like a status symbol. Yeah. Was more what it was, right? Like they wanted us to know.
Look at the rich business guy. He has a cell phone.
This high-rolling
gambling dude. He's got a cell phone. That's literally all it was back then. Now we got to come up with reasons why people can't use their phone. It's completely different.
Just that way there's some suspense for a moment.
Because any story would just end with, well, they called the cops.
It was done.
And it was over.
So once he gets done with his walk and talk, we hear while he's walking and talking, just so we can set this up for you, he has both a girlfriend and a wife.
And a wife. And a son.
We hear him talk about all of these things as he's walking.
In this like 5-minute one shot just
he's walking through the whole casino.
Arena.
He hits the tunnel system, he hits the casino, he hits everything so we can get to the other side. When he gets there, he talks
to Jimmy. He runs
whoever it was, he got sent to place the bet.
Yeah, place the bet. Jimmy the bookie.
When he first walks up, he sees Stan Shaw, Lincoln Tyler.
Yeah. He is super excited. Yo, Tyler! Woo! And the bodyguard guy.
We went to the same high school. See
Devils. Holding up the ring, pointing at it and shit.
And to me, it was so crazy because him being Nic Cage, doing his Nic Cage-iest Nic Cage.
Yeah.
It almost felt like he was mocking, right? Like his bet was going to be against him and he's trying to knock him off his game. No.
He's betting for him.
He likes this guy.
He loves this dude.
It's just not how the scene plays. The scene, literally, you think he's mocking him.
He's being a smart ass.
You think because he comes across so obnoxious. And but he's just being Nic Cage.
Yeah, it's just who he is. He's that fucking smarmy fucking street guy. You know what I mean?
But so he tries to place the bet, and Jimmy's like, dude,
fuck you, dude.
You need to show me the money.
Yeah, give me the money.
If you can't, let me see it.
He's like, man, you know I'm good for it. He's like, yeah, but it'll take me a year and a half to get the money.
He's like,
back.
I know you're good for it. You just take too long. I can't wait.
That's probably worse, actually.
Right? He's like, we just can't do that. And he's like, fine. And he looks back down the doorway and he sees Luis Guzman.
He's coming right out the door.
Cyrus. That's who he's playing.
Yeah, Cyrus.
Again, another random mobster, gangster
guy
something.
that he knows.
Shouldn't we already be worried that the boxer is surrounded? Like
by
the bookie is less than 10 feet from him.
Yeah, because Nic Cage even says when he comes out, he's like, oh, he bets on his own fights. Now that is confidence.
So again, it's so weird that nobody is questioning this.
That the bookie and the drug dealer just came out of the dude's locker room.
Like it's not a problem.
They belonged there. Cyrus even runs back in. He runs back into the locker room.
But then they push him right back out. They're like, no,
get out. We're not to go down the stairs.
We're not saving you in here. And he goes back out, and then Nicolas Cage starts running.
Yep.
Catches up to him. Now we find out what they want to be, and I'm sure if it's your first time, it's a shock.
I was a little surprised. I thought he was just kind of like a gambler
if
guy.
Anything, you might think he's in the mob himself. The way he buddies up with Jimmy when he first shows up, right? I think. And again, he's a high roller. We find out
he's a fucking cop.
He's a cop.
usher or whatever the fuck's like, well, you're not allowed down here. And he's like, whoa, I'm chasing that dude. Oh, did you go the stupid way, Cyrus? Because he tried to jump over something and fucked his hand up and shit, and he's all bleeding.
Now, up until this point, we've seen that he seems like he's a gambler. He seems like he's maybe a man about town. People know him. He has money. We've not seen anything to make us think that he is not on the up and up. We find out he's a cop. Seconds later, we immediately find out he's a crooked cop. He's not just a cop. He's a crooked cop because he pats down, right? This is a pat down.
He pats him down, takes his pat down. Hell, he yanks his
Well, no,
jacket off.
I don't mean like police pat down. I mean like
I know what
mobster pat down, where this is him stealing money from him.
Rips his jacket off, turns it upside down. All these little vials and stuff come out. He takes the money and stuff, and he's like, "Man, why you make me be like this? Don't I always give you the opportunity to pay for all the extra police work you make me do?"
But so he gets $3,000.
$3,000.
That's a big chunk of change.
Yeah.
And he immediately goes back to Jimmy.
Here you go. Here's $3,000. Put it all on Tyler. And here's an extra 100. It was all bloody.
No. That's not. He said, "Here's $3,000," and then Jimmy said, "I can't take this 100."
He's like, $2,900. I'm not taking this. He's like, "Oh,
why not?
You're so delicate."
This is when we find out that he's a bad dad, right? Like the conversation from this. Again, he's always on his phone. He's walking and talking.
The first 10 minutes of this movie is him on the phone, basically.
And so he leaves here. We already heard through one of his conversations that he had the son. Now we hear that he's a bad dad.
He's like, I don't want to talk to him.
He's like, I don't want to talk to him. No, I'm not dealing with him.
No, don't put...
Just buy this pizza.
Right? And then she puts the kid on. He's like, hey, I'll get the autograph or whatever. What the fuck ever. No, don't put your mom... God damn it.
Stop.
He just wants to get off the phone so bad.
He can't.
People
will not let him off this phone.
No, they're always calling him.
He walks up to Gary Sinise.
Yeah.
Looking dapper.
Lieutenant Dan.
Looking dapper. He always does, though.
Yeah, he looks great.
Gary Sinise.
Naval uniform.
He puts
looks
a uniform. He's believable.
Yeah, I could totally buy him as a Navy officer.
Well, anytime.
You put him any kind of... He pulls off a uniform.
I believe it when I see him do it. I don't know what it is, but I do.
I like Gary Sinise.
I do too. I always wished he could have been Wolverine.
Oh, that would have been cool.
He's got the right stature.
Yeah.
Because Wolverine's supposed to be short.
Yeah.
He's got the right haircut. It's square on top. You give him the chops.
The chops. And he just kind of hit the gym.
He would look like Wolverine.
Yeah.
He would. That's my fan casting of Wolverine. Has always been. Now, obviously, it's a little late.
It's a little late, but back in 2000s,
this era,
yeah, sure.
Lieutenant Dan
would have been fantastic.
Think about
Wolverine.
the hair when he's long-haired. Lieutenant Dan, cut it so that way it's Wolverine shaped on the top, but he's got the beard and shit.
Lieutenant Dan, you've got claws.
I'm telling you right now, they were titanium. All we got to do is say adamantium. I'm telling you, he skirted the edges. I love Gary Sinise. And so we see Rick walks up.
Yeah, they've obviously been friends
Before we go any further, we meet Gary Sinise. Gary Sinise, his character's name, again, we've not said that yet. You know this. Once we get in a movie, we need to start being in a movie.
Yeah.
His character name is Kevin Dunn. You might have noticed we said
that the other guy's real name
the announcer guy,
Kevin Dunn.
That actor's name is Kevin Dunn. What are the chances? So from now on, we will try our best. If we see the other guy, I don't know if we ever catch his character's name, so we'll just say reporter. He's an announcer now. He doesn't become a reporter
until later.
Yeah.
Dick.
But so we'll just call him announcer. If you hear us say Kevin Dunn, just remember that's Gary Sinise's character. If you happen to be a fan of the actor Kevin Dunn, this might be really hard for you.
Yeah. You're going to switch
because you know he's in the movie and you're going to be like, wait, which one are they talking about?
I don't remember him doing that in that movie.
So just bear in mind, guys. Apparently, Rick and Kevin have been friends forever.
Fucking ever.
They went to school together, which means that Kevin also went to school with Lincoln the boxer.
They all went to the same high school. They all have like the same ring. It shows up all the time. Even I think Cyrus down in the drug dealer guy, I think he had one too.
I don't know.
Everyone in this town went to the same high school,
which is crazy because it's a big place.
It's a big place.
They probably have many
multiple high schools.
Yeah. We find out the reason why Kevin is there in full uniform is because he's working.
Yeah, he's working security.
He got this nice seat for his buddy Rick.
Yeah, because, I'm going to be in town. I'm doing this big thing. I get you ringside seats. And you show up dressed like this.
But he's there strictly for work.
Yeah.
And then he's like, who are you protect? What are you doing?
What's going on?
He's
Secretary of State?
Defense.
Secretary of Defense?
Yeah, because again, whole plot of the movie is about defense contracts.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to kill the Secretary of State if you're trying to get ballistic missiles passed.
No, you'd probably
would
kill
need the
that guy
Secretary
for
of
like
Defense.
tax fraud
Or something, yeah. Definitely SecDef. It's in my notes.
SecDef.
Yeah, I've got SecDef in my notes.
I have secretary, so I couldn't remember.
You should remember the plot line.
Yeah, makes way more sense.
But yeah, so he is there to protect the Secretary of Defense, who immediately gets announced that he's there by the announcer.
I love Kevin's line. He's like, yeah, put a flashing light on your head. That'll make it better.
Great idea, right?
Okay, you are a big target right now. But he's having fun, I guess. So
then we immediately start hearing Kevin throw out all of the questionable things Rick has done since they've been friends. Up to and including the fact that he knows about the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Why doesn't he come clean to the wife? That's getting a little outrageous.
Yeah.
Do you really need to do this? I mean, come on now. You can't possibly make enough money to handle all of that.
Yeah,
So then he's also questioning his best friend's livelihood. He
knows.
just basically insults the fuck out of his friend right here.
Nic Cage just shoots back. He's like, man, you know me. I can't sleep
Save coupons.
I save coupons and I can't sleep with the same chick for 20 years.
Which again is the implication that on top of the fact that he's got the wife and the girlfriend, he's just sleeping around and we see him constantly.
All of them. He hits on the card girl.
He hits on every woman that gets within 5 feet of him.
Yeah, he does.
Throughout
He's
almost the entire throughout the
Ooh.
entire movie.
Did you catch Kevin Dunn? I'm sorry, movie. Did you catch his joke right after he's just like, I can't sleep with the same chick for 20 years? He's like, my wife likes to talk to me during sex. You know, she called me last night from the hotel. Get it? Because they're not together. Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was the moment where, again, if you had thought before that maybe he was making fun of Lincoln, trying like not an actual fan, you find out he's really a fan.
Yeah, he's in there. He's there, and he's out of him.
Again, blew me away because I 100% interpreted it the first moment.
Yeah, that he was going to bet against him.
Yeah, because it's what it seemed like. It seemed like he was trying to throw him off his game.
Because he even said something about the odds are like 10 to 1. I won't make any money or something like that. But no,
he is a huge fan and he is genuinely there to support this guy.
Yep, he is jumping up and down.
Then all of a sudden, Kevin Dunn notices the redhead.
She's not even watching the fight.
You know, again, we know where this is going.
Yeah.
He's talking to himself loud enough for our main character to hear him do it, even though he doesn't care, right? Like, at no point...
He's just watching the fight.
At no point is Rick paying attention to the redhead talk, and he just keeps going on. It was like, I understand we're not supposed... Like you said, you know he's the bad guy from the beginning.
The second
because you see this, right? Like, you're just like, I don't know what is up, but I can tell something is up right now.
To happen.
Because why is he talking? In a movie, you never see something like that, right? Like, our character... The only time we would hear that much of him talking, rambling, not directly spoken to our main character, is when it... I don't know. It's just so weird.
He gets up and goes over and he's like, I need your ticket and all this other shit.
We don't even know that that's what he says. So
we don't know that yet, but they go over and he talks to her.
They're too far away. Because right now we're in Rick view.
Yeah. This is Rick's perspective. He goes to talk to Redhead, and then she bails. So Kevin goes after her.
Runs after. And then he's standing there, and then now's when shit starts to get super crazy, right? Like, just like so much, like he's getting phone calls.
Yeah, he gets a phone.
It's at first from his girlfriend, then from his wife. He just fucking yells at both of them like, I need to get off that out. Once the fight starts, there's just like this random blonde steals his friend's seat, and he even tries to say to her like, no, that's not an open seat taken. And she's like, I'll be right. I'll be gone. I just need a minute. I just gotta talk to this guy. And you catch that he's half paying attention because
he cracks a half dirty joke, and then he's back to the fight, and he's half paying attention.
Well, yeah, because again, we don't know yet, but as soon as we find out later, once we see the perspective change, we are definitely supposed to be right now in the mode of, even though we see him, we're seeing things from his point of view. So whenever we see the weird like snaps of like a piece of this conversation, or when he, the thing across the room, that's supposed to be telling us that's what he is noticing at that moment.
He just catches little snippets of what she's saying to the secretary.
Exactly. He doesn't really know what it is, but he hears like a piece of it. Again, the setup guy across the fucking way. The guy
Here comes the pain guy.
I don't care who you are. If you didn't see that man and know he's part of some kind of plan, you're an idiot.
You're a plant.
Because it's obvious.
Very.
From the first moment he speaks, you're just like, what's up with that? That was
you're
weird.
Way too obvious and into this, man. Come on.
So he notices all these little things, and I think I don't even know for sure, but I think that's why they're doing that. Like, they think that's why it's like, because no other point in the movie, right, do we have those weird hard cuts around the room.
Cuts around.
I think it's because that's just supposed to be like
what he's
catching.
A
cop, right? He's a detective.
This is the small stuff he's noticing.
Yeah. Because at no point do we ever know.
Weird. I should make note of that.
At no point do we ever find out he's like not a bad cop as in he does bad things. He's a bad cop, but not. We never hear he's a bad cop.
Being a cop, he's just a bad cop.
Yeah. So as far as we know, he is good at his job.
He is good at investigating,
and so he's just always on top of his. He's always paying attention to things around him. That's how I took it.
That's how I saw it. Because otherwise, you would have heard way more. If it was just an exposition dump, we would have heard the entire conversation between her and the secretary. You hear like 3 words of it.
Well, you don't even know what it's really going on. She's like, I've got something in my pocket. Yeah, and then it cuts away.
It's like, what the hell?
Right then is when like dude gets knocked out.
Oh yeah, the knockout.
The enemy. Yeah, the
opponent.
The enemy.
The enemy.
Yeah, the opponent. The Lincoln's opponent gets knocked. He knocks him down. But yeah, he gets knocked down the first time. So like his attention shifts.
He's back to the ring, right? Because Lincoln's down. He's knocked out, and then pop, 2 gunshots, or is it 3?
Well, and you're forgetting the phone call.
Oh yeah, somebody calls him to get him to like move or something.
Do we ever find out about that?
Well, he gave his number to the card girl. She's the one who called him, but I don't know why
it
she
happened
called him at that point. They never
the perfect timing.
Yeah, that's never explained. Like,
what's your lucky number?
When did the people go up to her and be like, "Hey, you need to call that number right fucking now"?
Right? I spent the whole rest of the movie trying to be like, "Oh yeah, the mysterious phone call." I'd forget about it, and then they would bring it up, and then not give us more about it,
and then not tell me anything.
Again, is this another red herring? This was them trying to be like, it's not important, but you think it's important.
Yeah, maybe just bad timing on.
That's all it is. It's just a coincidence in the middle of the giant actual conspiracy.
Chaos. But yeah, as soon as he gets that call, she's all like, "Look, it's me, your lucky number," and he's like looking around, and then
he literally says, "What? Lucky number?"
What are you talking about?
Her jumping up and down. It was he's like, "Oh,"
and then gunshot right in the secretary's neck,
and then he notices the girl. She gets shot in the arm.
She gets shot in the arm, and then he tackles her down.
At no point in the movie is her arm injured.
There's one scene in a bathroom, and then literally there's another scene where she has like a short sleeve or her shirt's off. It's gone.
Right? No,
like, the gunshot is
she
gone.
never walks around. She's always walking like it's normal.
Yeah, it moves.
She hits
just
on
fine.
the dude.
Yeah,
like there's no problem.
She's hard as nails, dude. Like, if she
even when he asks her about it, she just goes, "Oh, it's okay."
It's fine.
But she clearly got shot. It was like in the elbow, dude.
Right?
You're not walking away from a bullet to the elbow.
You're
the hard part of the bone there.
Right? She's screaming. She needs surgery.
She's probably flopping in the wind, dude.
Like, not moving.
The elbow is what connects your lower arm to your upper arm.
She's going to have like 19 screws and all this other shit just to get her elbow to move.
Out of everything in the movie, that is probably the most... And this is a movie about a conspiracy going on.
Right.
The most unbelievable thing is the gunshot wound that she takes to the arm.
Her getting shot, yeah. I agree. And she just treats it in the bathroom sink.
Well, and we find out she's not a blonde.
Oh, yeah, the wig comes off, and she's got black
In all
hair.
the mass confusion that's going on, a few things happen our man Rick was able to notice.
Yep.
And it all, again, this is all happening really quick.
Really fast.
This is probably when the 20-minute steady cam finally stopped, right? It's like the
probably,
transition in the
now
fight
we gotta start
sometime.
cutting around and doing shit.
And so, like, we see the things of him where he's seeing stuff again, right? Real quick. Because, again, this is mass confusion. He barely even understands what the hell just happened.
Yeah, he sees
her
get shot.
He sees the wig slide across the floor, right? And then she runs, and he's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
He sees her glasses get broken, too.
Yeah. And he looks up at the ring. And when he looks up at the ring, he sees our boy Lincoln.
He's not knocked out.
His head's full up. Now, this was the problem I had. I got no problem with the fact that obviously Lincoln threw the fight.
Yeah.
Why, when he made eyes,
did he try to act like he was knocked out again?
Well, again, he didn't even act like he was knocked out again, because you would just immediately try to lay down, right?
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He did I'm woozy.
He did ooh.
Right? Why?
I got the vapors.
Why did he do that? Why was that the choice? Like, because again, he's assuming that's the only guy. Somebody else was probably looking at the ring.
There's a lot of people looking at him.
That's gonna look weird as shit to the 35 people that may have looked at him when it happened, and they're like, "What?" Especially if they weren't making eye contact with him.
Like, why is his head moving around?
Because
like
they
that?
wouldn't see him do the woozy eyes. They would just see his head do a little circle movement and fall back down, and they'd be like,
"The fuck was that?"
Did he just have a stroke after?
Yeah, right. Oh no, he has brain damage. He's having a seizure. Somebody go put a wallet in his mouth.
Really strange, and it took me out of the moment for a minute when I seen it. I was like, "What is happening right now?"
Bad acting choice, I guess.
Well, again,
maybe he was told to do it. No, give me a woo.
Yeah. Somebody made a bad choice. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, somebody made a bad decision there.
Yeah, it was certainly a weird choice. Now, once the chaos is full on broke out, Rick is trying to help figure things out, right? He stands up. He's trying to deal with what's around him. He's looking for his buddy.
He yells for Kevin.
He sees him. He's running down the stairs.
Yeah, Kevin shot the dude.
Well, we don't know that yet.
I know.
I have such a problem with this. Did you notice this?
Yes.
Too? We don't know.
We don't see.
We hear it in dialogue before we see the dead body even. Right?
Like, I was like, what? Where's the dude? And then suddenly
30s,
he's like, oh yeah, I killed that guy. Like, did he win?
It's in my note, but it was literally, I was like, when did he kill the shooter?
Because Nic Cage is like, you got this shooter. You're the hero. You saved
I was like, he did?
I'm like, when the fuck did he do that?
I was like, are you just trying to now lie and put a spin on it? And then immediately after he says that, we turn and we see the dead body. We see the other detective, the task force or whatever, run up the stairs. They're not the FBI.
That's who they're game and the gambling police. I don't know. But they're in charge of casinos.
Yeah, they're trying to stall time till the FBI gets there.
Yeah, they got to go in there and not let these dickheads take over.
So when those guys run up, though, that's when we see the dead body, and I was like, oh, I guess he
is dead.
Did shoot somebody.
What the fuck? When did that happen?
Like, what the fuck? Why couldn't they have just clearly told us that?
Or had a nice cut from like the angle of Rick's up and let him see him shoot him.
Because it was literally just seconds before we seen him run down the stairs. That was the implication.
We just get it in a line of dialogue. It's it.
Okay, I'm glad that you noticed.
Yeah, I did. I was because it threw me off. Like, I even rewound it. I was like, when did he save anybody? Yeah. And then later they show it. Yep. And I'm like, okay.
But so then during the conversation, that same conversation, we hear he's trying to blame himself because he's like, I was out of position. I followed the redhead.
I had my head buried in some tits. Oh, I was like 3 feet from the guy.
He said, we're going to call her a suspicious character.
You don't say some broad. You're the hero here. You just keep your fucking mouth shut. Dude, Rick's a good guy here.
He's trying to be.
He is like, buddy, I will get you out of this. Do not worry.
14,000 eyewitnesses. We're gonna lock him in the tunnel.
That's
what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I can.
I already have.
I will keep him here. I will get 14,000 names. I will get 14,000 addresses, and while I'm at it, I'll get 14,000 pictures.
Yes. Well, I love that he was like, you can't. I'm just thinking in my head, like, he already has.
Yeah, it's
already told them to leave and then locked the door, and he just told you lock the other door. I think it's done.
That's exactly what happened.
I think it has already been established and done, sir. It was good. While this is going on, we see that Julia, you won't know that's her name.
No.
But just so that way, for ease of us to talk about her.
The very end of the movie, they finally say her name.
Just for ease of us to talk about her.
Her name is Julia.
The one with the wig. Not the redhead. Let's be specific. Yeah. Although later we find out the redhead was maybe a wig too. But so the blonde wig wearing woman, with her name is Julia. Now. We see her. We see she's trying to escape. At least the security are not boneheaded because he was like, why you're covered in blood.
What the hell? What's wrong? Are you okay?
He may not be boneheaded, but he is inept because he was not able to grab her when she
just lets her get away
a foot and a half in front of him.
Right? He's like, he just kind of goes, "Hey, come back." Oh, I missed.
And she runs off, and we see like she's like steals a jacket,
steals like a coat or something from
the throw off the blouse
souvenir and shit. This is where she goes in the bathroom and she's like trying to get all the blood and shit off.
Again, I'll mind you, no wound. She is just totally.
She's covered in blood.
Takes the thing off and she's fine.
Okay, it's whatever. The bad makeup, bad.
Just making sure you saw it. While this is all going on, Kevin's gonna go look for the girl. Right. Yeah. We get back to Nick. We get back to Rick. They're talking about what the next part of the plan is.
Yeah. Well, what do we do now?
And so Rick's like, "Look, I'm gonna be in charge.
Yeah,
I'm in charge. I'm in charge of this place. I'll take care of running this." He tells
Kevin about the blonde girl.
So Kevin's like, "I'll go try to find her."
He goes to look at the fight footage.
Yeah.
Right. because he's like, something's up because I saw dude's head.
Well, we know he just tells him that he's going to do all the work.
Yeah,
basically. He's like, well, you know, because again, he's trying to be like, I'm going to run this. So he's like, you
I'm
just
in
go look
charge
for
of
the
this
girl.
investigation.
But yeah, he as soon as he gets away, as soon as Kevin walks away from him, he's like, all right, now let's go look footage because I think something fishy.
I think that
is up.
motherfucker cost me $10,000.
Right. So yeah, he gets to the camera room. I want to point out this is one of those guys, the computer tech guy.
The computer tech guy.
He's in a lot of things. They've got this dude. He's a big, dopey, probably play football in high school type of guy.
Yeah.
And they got him playing the
tech
IT
nerd.
guy.
The IT guy.
I don't buy it for a second. And again, I don't know if this is just the difference between 98 and today. Because then think about it, like computers were still...
Yeah, it would not have been...
They were still kind of in their infancy in the workforce. So it might make sense that just a random office guy is going to be the IT guy because he was the one...
They picked him.
To learn how to do it.
You get to go learn how to do this.
Maybe
now.
that's what's going on here. But I don't buy him when I look at him. Like when he sat down and was like, you know all about this stuff, right? And he's like, yeah. And he starts trying to. I was like, stop right now. This guy
I can track anybody anywhere. And I think that's the guy from Dumb and Dumber, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes,
rat poison shit.
He's just the main dude that's chasing him down.
Yeah,
it is for sure. Again, like I said, I don't know his name.
I don't
he's
either,
one of
but
those
he's
guys.
one of those
he's
guys.
in lots of things. You know him. But again, now that the viewers at home
know who
have
we're
a
talking
better picture
about.
in their head, they can be like, yeah, I wouldn't think that guy's tech savvy extraordinaire.
Bought him as like a mob henchman. Totally bought that.
But yeah, he's like, I can track anything anywhere. And they show us a demonstration, right? Like he's like, no camera in 1998 was working like this, let alone a fucking whole
system of them. You could probably do it now.
Because he zooms in like crystal clear image on like a woman's purse and shit.
And she's got like the cup of coins and shit.
It does not. There's no way. Like even today there would probably be pixelation to a certain degree zooming in. And this was smooth zoom in.
Super clear.
Again, that we know they were using like the actual
like movie camera.
No real camera. No security camera was going to produce you footage like that.
Security camera footage in 1998 sucks.
Yeah. I was just like, this is so absurd.
Yeah, there's no fucking way.
It's one of those you have to have your moment of disbelief from it, right?
Just ignore it.
But so while we see it going on, he's like, let me see the fight.
Yeah, show me the knockout. That's what I want to see. And he said he shows me stuff. He's like, he looks, he throws a punch, dude goes back.
Well, you see it,
and it's like
the first time you're like, it doesn't line up right.
Something right. Show me a different angle.
And then we see it from like a couple of them.
3, and then finally there's a top view.
Well, even dude, every one of them you can tell a little bit more. You're like, I still can't prove it with that one, but I can definitely tell
something's
with that one, right? Like each
his
one
head's
is
like, not snapping back at the right time.
But yeah, then the last one. Although, where
clear.
did this camera come from? Because it is literally by chance directly above them, like
not
right
even above the ring.
Yeah, above them
in the corner.
Yeah, they weren't in center ring,
right?
And again, this is before the drones. This is before the high tech thing in this movie is a camera and a blimp. And then, again, it was remote controlled.
Is the height right
but that
there.
blimp would still have moved so slow.
So
this is absurd. It's absurd for us to think that they were in any way able to get a direct from the top of their
cam. Like no.
100% vertical.
That's a drone shot.
Right? Like that was 100% vertical.
That's a drone shot. They flew the thing right over their head. Well, that's how you would have to do it now.
Yeah, back then they had one of those cranes, right? Like it would have been a
big
crane
boom
shot.
Crane.
That's the only way you could have got that.
Save money. They tied the camera to a stick.
They just got enough helium balloons
and floated it over the ring.
Hope for the best.
Yeah, we'll let it float around for a while. We'll get the shot eventually, I'm sure.
It was, again, it's one of those things where in 1998 you have to understand that we all were hopeful of where technology was going. So when we saw stuff like this in movies, we never thought like this doesn't exist yet. We were all just like, oh, maybe somewhere it does, right? Like because that's where we're going. Somebody's paying for the top of the line. I hear all kinds of crazy stuff in 1998 about computers. Right? Like surely in a big casino like this, they have the highest tech stuff, right? But looking back on it, it's one of those things where you're just like, no, they definitely didn't have that.
They did not have
we don't have that today.
They still had the cameras from 1976.
Right.
Ran on a big, huge wheel.
This is like the era of, like CSI being like, zoom in, enhance, enhance, enhance.
Now we all know that doesn't work.
This was definitely a time where you could pull this off and you're just rolling with it.
Yeah,
like, unless you were a guy who was in the field, you probably had no idea if that was true or not.
And then the rest of us just called you a nerd and told you to shut up.
Right. Nowadays, we're all just like, we have all of this information at our fingertips.
Just so smart now, you can't play that shit. All right.
Well, that's he immediately.
He's watching the fight.
We can leave that. He's seen all of it. He immediately leaves the fight and goes straight to Lincoln's
Tyler.
room.
The bodyguard guy at the doors tries to stop him. He's just like, you know what you're doing right now? That's a felony.
You're gonna let go. He's a fellow sea devil. I don't think you understand.
Right.
I love that he even said that to the guard, like the guard was gonna care.
Like he is gonna give a shit. Shows him the ring.
Right.
He keeps showing that fucking ring. He's super proud of his class ring.
He gets in there and he's like, you remember me. You do. Stop lying to everybody.
My hair was a little longer, and shit.
If you saw the yearbook picture right now,
you would recognize me.
I know you would. But so once he gets in there, though, he doesn't hesitate for a second before throwing the accusations out, right? He immediately comes in and he's like, "Oh, what do you think? Well, what were you doing out there? Right? You making any weird bets lately?"
Yeah, I saw Jimmy come out of your locker room.
That was kind of weird.
That was a little weird stuff, and
I heard the bets were really good in the favor against you.
Yeah, he's sitting there. He's trying to fight. He's like, "No, the kid was a good fighter," and all this shit. It's like,
and he keeps,
I don't know.
Well, and he keeps calling him Lincoln, right?
Yeah,
or Link, or like
Lincoln.
He keeps throwing like nicknames at him and shit. And finally, one of the security guards goes,
I think it's his lawyer.
Or that's right. Yeah, that's right. It was the lawyer. I couldn't remember if it was the little guy or one of the other ones.
That's the Weasley little lawyer.
But one of them finally is like, "You need to stop. You can address him as Mr. Tyler, right?" And he goes, "I'll call him fucking Mr. T once he drops whatever." And I was like, this is fucking funny right now. He's just flat out being like, this man is not good enough to deserve my respect,
right?
Because I seen what he just did, right? Like that's what's going through his head. He's like, I know he's a fucking. He threw a fight. He's a cheater. He's a bullshit.
He cost me a bunch of money and somebody's dead, and I think you have something to do with it.
He's like, I got no respect for him. I don't gotta say none of that. Lincoln, stop lying. I know you are. I'm starting to hear that smacking sound form at the corner of your mouth.
Drink a little water.
Right? He's like at the forming at the corner of your mouth. I loved it, dude. It was so funny.
Some of fucking Nic Cage's line deliveries in this are so fucking good.
Well, again, this whole scene was manic Nic Cage.
Oh,
like it was the Nic Cage. Again, it's the big eyed, like
back.
Yeah,
he wants to.
He's talking so fast.
He wants to slap the shit out to some bitch so bad, but he can't.
See, he hits him one last time with the "Stop pretending you don't know me." And then when he still didn't acknowledge
Stop pretending you don't know me and sign my kid's damn autograph.
And then he throws out one more time because I know it's a Phantom. Like, so far, he's insinuated. But he's not thrown out that Phantom Punch, right? Like, he's not thrown that out. He's been, because again, he's trying.
He even mentioned Sonny Liston and the Ali fight.
He's trying to not out him in front of everybody. He's trying to be polite. But when the dude's not taking the hint, he's like, fine, then I'm just going to I'm going to drop it. I'm going to let everybody know.
You threw that fight, and this is where he's just like, so everybody out.
No, as soon as Lincoln knows, he says, all right, everybody's got to go.
Get the fuck out. And
then starts signing the picture.
He signs it. He signs the thing. He's just like,
signs the picture immediately.
Whatever his kid's name is.
It was a beautiful touch.
He got his kid's autograph. I'll give him that one.
Yeah, now's when we really know that the plot thickens right now. Like, we really start to get more
when
details.
They have their conversation.
Yeah, because Lincoln immediately starts telling him, like, nobody was supposed to die. Because he didn't even say, he says they didn't tell me. And I'm like,
he says she. He says she didn't say they were.
I think this time he says they. Later on, it's a she. He definitely does tell us that it's before we leave. He tells us it's the redhead.
He tells the redhead.
Right now, I think it's more ambiguous still because we got to get through the conversation.
Nobody was supposed to get hurt. That kind of bullshit.
And again, but my point here is he doesn't say like he knew the plan, so he knew nobody was supposed to get hurt. He specifically just says, "I didn't get told that somebody was going to get hurt." And it's like the second you knew this was, because he says from the beginning he knew it was about more than just throwing a fight. So it's like if you knew it was about more than throwing a fight, if you knew there was more behind it. Well, not that you should figure somebody's going to get hurt, but you should figure you don't know what the fuck it's about.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't make assumptions. But that's the dumb part. But so now we get the coolness of the
we get it from
POV
his,
switch.
his perspective,
And
Tyler's
when
perspective.
we tell you guys that we see it from their perspective earlier, we purposely didn't tell you. It is full POV though.
Yeah.
They start each scene in. Oh, maybe we did. I think we did.
Did we?
Either
That's
way,
fine. We have now.
we get full POV. I mean, like we're literally the camera is their
them.
eyesight for like 30 seconds, and then they find like the most action-oriented moment or the like most tense moment of that to then like circle the camera out of the person's view
And then into the
full
regular
scene.
view. Yeah.
It's
so good. Oh my God.
I love it.
The cinematography alone should have gotten awards.
I know, dude. Like it's great. We see this. We're seeing literally what happened right before Luis Guzman got stabbed, got cut,
and had to run away.
So
And shit.
it's that moment when Rick came up and was making the bet with Jimmy. It's what happened right before that, but from Lincoln's point of view.
Yeah, he overhears Jimmy and his lawyer talking about
And
how there's a lot of
money
bets against your boy here, and I know he owes these people a lot of money. You know what I'm kind of hinting at here.
Might be a bit of an issue.
I might be, if you kind of want to talk to me, I might be able to do so. And fucking the lawyer gets pissed off. He's like, "Oh, you want to
tell Lincoln?
You want to go tell Lincoln what you just told me?"
The funny part is at this point, Lincoln's already.
He's already screwed.
Well, at this point, he's already made the deal with whoever he made it with. His lawyer doesn't know that.
Yeah, his lawyer.
Jimmy doesn't know that.
No.
That's the funniest part. The lawyer's super offended
That the guy would insinuate, like, maybe you should make a bet against yourself.
That Lincoln would do that.
Yeah.
And Lincoln's already done that.
Yep, it's already what's happening.
It's already happened.
Poor lawyer. He didn't know what was happening until the very end, did he?
It's not his fault.
No.
He wanted to believe the best in his client. That's great.
He even tells him in that scene, he's
And
just
I
like,
want to
look,
believe
man,
the
if
best
you-
about
if-
Lincoln. For
He
the
just
whole
wanted to
movie,
pay his debts,
for the whole
man.
movie, yeah. But right now is the moment where
right
he
now.
finds out they killed people. Right,
Yeah.
someone died, and he seems like he's really upset about that, and he wouldn't want to take part in
really
that.
want to like him right
This
now, don't you?
motherfucker still stays part of this conspiracy, and you know it.
Yeah, I know.
Our listeners who haven't seen this don't know it. You know
I
it.
do. I wanted to like him so much.
That's why I was
though.
saying that. I wanted to.
It was like, he just wanted to pay his debts off, and he kind of got roped into this. He's not a bad guy. He just got,
but
and then like
It changes.
it's like,
Your opinion of him changes.
No, you're not a good guy at all.
You want him to be so much, though,
you
right?
really do, because you want him to be the champ.
He seems like a good. He seems like
Yeah.
it. Because so while we're seeing all this POV stuff from him, we also get we get the full thing. We get the fight.
Yeah, we
even.
get the
so we get to
fight
see
even.
all the stuff we didn't get to see before. Because none of stuff from Rick's point of view let you see the fight.
Yeah, we
You
get
hear it
from in the ring.
You hear what's going on. You hear the one guy gets dropped and stuff. You don't see it. Now we get to see everything. I love everything about this fight.
Right.
Being
Oh my
told
God.
from Lincoln's point of view.
So good.
I love him talking to us about his opponent. His opponent is a douche. I hate this guy.
Douche. Oh my God, he's just in there. He's like,
He's trying to talk so much
He's
smack.
like he's gonna bullshit me to death.
Yeah, he's talking so much smack.
He ain't got
He's-
no form.
He's so slow, dude. Like,
Yeah.
when they pan out and you see
Jesus.
him swinging, you're just
I
like,
coulda dodged
Well,
that.
and again, you're just like, man, it really sets up for you, like the blow it is to Lincoln's pride
that he's gonna have to
that
take
he
a
has to-
dive here
because
this
he's
guy's not
watching.
even worth giving the belt to.
Oh, you see it, and you're just
God.
like, man, it's
And then-
so rough.
And then the stupid fucker won't quit running his mouth, so Lincoln finally pops him when he's like, I
What?
just tapped him. I barely tapped him.
Dude barely got up. He almost accidentally won the fight. He gets up on 8. He gets up on 8.
Jeez, I baby tapped you, you little bitch.
And then again, and he's just like, I can't believe I have to lose this guy.
The acting, the look on his face when the ref is counting
Tears.
He is about to cry.
Because he's like, I can't believe I just fucked this up. And I can't believe if he stands up, I have to lose to this guy.
Right? For real.
Like that moment was like his full on like realization moment, right? Like where it all hit him.
They slowed down the footage when he was like, he's throwing them shots and stuff to like show like the speed of the opponent and stuff. I'm like, no, don't. He's slow as shit. You do not have to slow the footage down.
It was slow.
It was unnecessary to slow him down because it started regular speed and then slowed down. I was like, that was unnecessary. He was barely moving.
After that, the dude gets up and Lincoln tells us at this point, the guy isn't even doing his part anymore, right? The guy stops trying to win.
He's already on loopy land because he almost got knocked the fuck out a second ago. And he's just like, bitch, you need to fight, and then gets headbutted.
Yeah, well, exactly. He's trying to. All that happened here is Lincoln pulled him in close to try to make sure he
dude, what the fuck we're supposed to be doing, right?
You're in on this too, right? Like, it's
that's
not
how this
just
usually
me.
works. It's not just me.
And so he's like, you understand what you're supposed to be doing, and the dude headbutts him, and I was like, fuck this.
I would have beat the shit.
I'd have been out.
I would have threw him.
I'd have been done.
No contest.
I'd have been done. I'd have been like, fuck, I understand the deal I made. Yep. You guys got to figure out your own shit.
I will fucking pay it back some other way. I don't care. I'm going to fuck this dude
I'm
up.
not letting this dude tap me.
Nope. You ain't headbutting me like that, bitch.
The beautiful part here is, as we've already said, it was a shadow punch.
Yeah, he didn't even.
He never did.
Says it.
The
He's
dude
like,
never did touch him.
Didn't even follow through with his punch.
He never did touch him.
But he was so in his head.
The fight.
He was so in his head. He was before he even realized it didn't connect. He was already.
He was like, exactly. He was like, I didn't realize I was full in character for the moment.
Right. It's like, I mean, that happens. I watch a lot of pro wrestling. Sometimes somebody will go flying before
and so
they've
he's
been
like,
hit.
I had to sell it at that point, even though he's like, and then
there's nothing you can do.
He's like, and that's the moment when the shot's fired, and he starts to break down. He's like, this is when he says she never told me someone was gonna die.
Yep. And he's like, she who?
What do you mean she?
You got a description, a name, or anything? Yeah, I got her ID, phone number, address. You want all that shit? Hell no, man.
And he goes, well, I mean, you gotta know something. She had red hair.
Fiery red hair.
And as soon as he said it, it was just like,
oh shit.
Well, what's super crazy is that's the moment where you're like, at first you're like, split second, you're like, oh fuck yeah, all right, then Kevin was right. Kevin's suspicion. So again, right now we don't know how deep the conspiracy is, right?
Right.
So you're like, sweet, this is the best news. Rick just saved his friend's career,
right? Because he was spot on.
Even though it didn't pan out,
he was right to suspect
right?
that chick. He also mentions here comes the pain guy is the signal for him to go down, but that's minor. He's in on it too.
Well,
here comes the pain guy.
It's minor only because I already mentioned you're stupid if you didn't realize that he was part of it. Because again, like I said, when you see him the very first time he comes on screen,
you're suspicious.
You can tell he's a plant of some sort.
You are trying way too hard to look like white trash.
Right? Thank you for mentioning it. I'm glad. We need to tell people he was here. But that's why I forgot.
It's not hugely important, but he was there.
He was there. We see his moment again, and he was the one. We get to see from this point of view.
He has
in the story.
Earpiece,
he's got the earpiece. Yeah. So we know he's, again, if you didn't know from the first time, you weren't paying attention.
The second you saw him in the camera, this isn't tilts toward him and like, look at that guy.
If you didn't know the first time, this may not be your kind of movie.
Yeah, right.
You might have left this movie still confused about what happened.
What happened?
I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm just trying to say.
Sometimes people have to watch things a couple times.
I don't think this is one you need to watch.
I said some people. But then he goes to talk to Kevin. He's like, dude, there has to be some kind of conspiracy. We got. Well,
he doesn't even say.
We got like redhead. Here comes the
He tells him
guy.
Full evidence, right? He says literally, this is coming from the man's mouth. I've got the footage of the man throwing the fight, so I know he definitely did throw the fight. He says that was his cue again, which is going to be on camera, so you can tell that's when it happened. That he made eye contact with the guy after the guy screamed, and then we see gunshots. He's like, so I can definitely prove
that happened. Something is going down.
He's like, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. That makes a conspiracy. Did you know there's a number needed?
I didn't.
Is that true? I didn't look this up. I don't know.
When I worked at Walmart, when we had to do our like employee testing bullshit thing, apparently a gathering of more than 3 or 4 people is considered an attempt to start a union.
Well, I understand that.
So maybe 5 people is a conspiracy?
I don't know. But it was a weird thing, right? Like where he literally counts them out and then he goes, 5. That's 5. That's a conspiracy. And I was like, do we need to know that? Is that important? Is 5 coming up again? You know what I mean? Like it was so random.
There's more than 5. He has way more people working for him than 5 people.
Right now there were more than 5. Like his story probably had more than 5. He just stopped there because 5's all you need.
5's all you need. It's the minimum number for conspiracy, remember.
But why does that even matter? Because at this point, again, like conspiracy is just it's more of it's just an idea. Like we all understand what a conspiracy is. I don't need 5 people before I use that word. If I think one person is doing some shady shit,
you're up to a conspiracy, motherfucker.
Right?
What you conspiring?
This is
why we have that word.
This isn't Guy Fawkes. This is not the gunpowder conspiracy. You get what I'm saying here? This is not old school England. I'm not worried about the exact number in my definition.
No.
It was weird for Nic Cage to drop this.
He was very adamant about the 5. There's 5 of them, so now it is a conspiracy.
You understand what I'm saying?
If it had been 4, what would it have been?
Not a conspiracy. That's all that matters.
Just
dude.
a conglomerate.
You're starting to think
it's just a gathering.
Oh no. What I did is starting to spread. You're starting to be like me. You're thinking too far into it. It doesn't matter.
Thinking too much into it.
Things like this keep us from being able to enjoy movies sometimes, because I get lost in thoughts like that. Like I'm just like, why does it matter?
And then I'll miss half the movie and have to rewind it.
Yeah. So let's not get there. But just know that 5 is a conspiracy, and for some reason the movie wanted us to know that.
It's very important.
It's not important at all. Don't let him confuse. Don't let him get in your head.
It's so important. 5. It has to be.
Don't let him get in your head, guys. During this stuff, we get to see the POV from Kevin now.
Oh yeah,
right?
Kevin's perspective on it.
So that's the thing we get from this moment is the shift into Kevin's POV.
Yeah.
While we're seeing his stuff, we see the redhead. We see him chase. Now's when we get to hear what he says to her. Where he's like, "Where's your ticket?" Chases her down. She's flirting with him hardcore.
Got them boobies up.
While he went to go chase her down, he did catch the blonde out of the corner of his eye.
Yeah, he did see her.
We made sure that we knew that he saw her.
He did see her. Didn't make a note of it.
It registered in her head, in his head, though. Like
cute blonde girl with glasses. Noted.
Right. Well, I mean, I would say that's exactly why he did it, because again, that's
why
his story here is that he's a horn dog. That's what we see. Again, this is the only POV that's not true, though, right?
Yeah, this is the one that's bullshit because
everybody else's is literally
this.
Everybody else's literal POV. He tells us this story, but this is fake POV because this is not what actually happens.
Yeah, because as we said in the beginning, it's obvious he's the bad guy,
right? And so he tells us catches the redhead. She's flirts.
All flirting,
she's trying to show off
her tits and shit, and then gunshots, and then he just whips around and bang, 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 bang.
Immediately shoots where he heard the gunshots from, which happened to be 2 feet behind him.
Yep, 2 feet behind
by
him.
chance.
Weird little spot to hide too.
Well, no matter what, it's again when Rick already thinks that this is a conspiracy, and then his friend tells him,
"I was 3 feet from the guy."
Well, again, Rick thinks the redhead is part of it, right?
Yeah,
we already know that. If Rick thought the redhead was part of it, why would he believe the redhead would take his friend 2 feet from where the shooter was?
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
So to me, this was one of those moments where Kevin thought he was ahead of his friend and thought he was going to
be able to just bullshit him.
But there is absolutely no way Rick fell for that.
That is true.
Right? We don't see it yet, and Rick doesn't say it till way later, but I believe Rick already had his inklings.
Of like, that's weird that you were 2 feet from the guy, but good for you. You got him.
Well, and again, not even that he was 2 feet, that she was the reason.
The reason he was 2 feet from him.
When he believes she's part of it. And again, it all goes back to the fact that Kevin downplays the intelligence of his friend.
He really does.
Constantly, dude.
The whole fucking movie. He's
and so that's my point.
Like my dipshit cop friend who's more interested in like getting money and having sex.
Exactly. So again, at this point, it's even that Kevin isn't even paying attention to what Rick tells him. You know, Rick came up saying, I believe the redhead's part of it. And then Kevin, as if he didn't even listen, says, the redhead brought me up right beside
the shooter.
And it's like, okay, but then at this point, if you're listening to your friend, at the very least, you would start to ask yourself, why would she put me right beside someone she knew was there?
Yeah, if she was in on it.
But he doesn't even say that. So this is why I'm saying, like, at the very least, Rick is suspicious at this moment, right? Because he would be like, why, as someone who's, again, a decorated military officer in charge of security, would you not question right now, would your words out of your own mouth to me be, why'd she bring me there? That's weird.
That is very weird.
And he doesn't say that.
No.
I think this was the tipping point into Rick knowing way more, right?
Yeah, like, he's smart. He's just like, that's weird, man, but I'm not going to say anything about it.
He just lets it slide now, right? Well, because when we find out later, he does not want to believe this.
Yeah, he's even just like, it's like, okay, you got distracted by some tits. I mean, you're human. You fucked up. I like you better. That was a good line. He's like, I like you better. You're human. But yeah, they gotta find. They can't just go prying conspiracy, right? Like, so they split up. Like,
Yeah.
Kevin's gonna go look for the redhead, and here comes the pain guy, and Rick is gonna go find blonde wig girl.
So they switched places, right? Because again, up until now,
Yeah,
Kevin was supposed to be looking for blonde wig
Yeah,
girl.
it was the other way around, wasn't it? But now we find out why he wants to go look for redhead, and
Immediately we find out
For sure.
the conspiracy is real.
yeah, is real, and
And
he is that
deeper
part of it.
deeper than Rick thought.
Yeah, way deeper.
Because Kevin is part of it. Not only is he part of it, we immediately
Seems
see
like he planned it.
well, and we immediately see him kill the two people.
Yep, because they got made by my boy Rick, and they're like, "Oh, do you want us to take him out?" And he's like, "No, that's not an option."
I got another one. He's like, I got a backup plan. I just didn't want to have to enforce it.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And they were like, why? And he's like, because I'd have to kill good soldiers
There's no way for soldiers to die
or something. And I was like,
that. And
you
he
just let
shoots
the
him.
sec def die.
Yeah.
You just let the sec def die.
Right, like, what the fuck, man? You can't be splitting hairs at this
Well,
point.
later we find out he basically thinks sec def is like a
traitor.
like a
and all this
hippie political.
You're gonna defund the military,
Right?
and all this other bullshit.
So I guess that's why he's okay with that death.
But he shoots the cute. She's blonde at that point.
Okay,
I
yeah,
swear
sorry.
to God.
Yeah, we
She's
almost
putting
went
on
past
the
this.
like military hat thing. Her hair is blonde.
So every woman in the movie,
Is wearing a wig. Every fucking one.
right?
Even the ones in the background. All wigs.
As far as I'm concerned, now
I can't
the reporter.
I can't trust any of these bitches.
The reporter is definitely wearing a
Yeah,
wig.
all
It's
right.
under the. It's well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's under the rain gear. We can't see any of it anyway.
That's true.
She's
Do we ever
outside.
do we ever see her? Not
No,
in the
she's
rain
only in
gear?
the wet. Yeah, she's only out in the storm.
That poor bitch.
The hurricane.
I feel so bad for
Standing outside in a hurricane.
her and her camera guy just out there in a hurricane.
But yeah, so he basically he had to kill both of them. He was like a local cop. He didn't even give his buddy
He doesn't even give him
better
up.
dignity than that.
Just local cop made you.
And I'll point out, technically, it wasn't even the local cop.
Because he's technically outside.
Lincoln. Well, Lincoln. No, I mean like Lincoln's the one that made them.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Again, that's what I'm getting at. Lincoln made them. Rick. None of Rick's deductive work made them. He just heard the story from Lincoln.
Yeah, so it's his fault. It's the champ's fault that you guys are dead.
So that's
Blame
what
him.
That's what I think is funny here. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, it's supposed to be his detective work.
Yeah.
Is what I found it out. But can you call it detective work when he just went to talk to one guy and that guy immediately just goes, "It was these people. These people talked to me."
He didn't even go to talk to them about those people. He went
No.
to talk to him about throwing the fight.
So you get my point here. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's not even like good detective work. It's literally just that Lincoln.
You just happened upon
Lincoln
that
is a stool
information?
pigeon.
You rat.
That's the only reason he knows.
Poor guys. He just shoots both those fucking
It was
bastards.
nuts.
But then we go back to the camera room.
Yep, back to the camera
with the
room.
guy from Dumb and Dumber, and he's just like, these cameras are magic, man. He just grid by grid, section by section, they're just searching, and every once in a while, his little assistant's like, "Oh, we got a dude like trying to like
Yeah, he's
snatch
just-
some coins." He's like, "Ah, bring up whatever camera, whatever."
He's
the
just
fuck."
telling him like random things. Yeah.
And then eventually they find her.
Well, he's spotting random people. And so we see a couple different random things.
Yeah.
And then dude says, "I think we got another hooker."
That's what it is.
So we, while he's in the room, we also see stuff from her, Julia.
yeah,
We see
she's
stuff
trying to
her
hide
point
from
of
the
view.
other security
Yeah.
guards and
And
shit.
so she is putting the moves on this dude.
this dude, this big fat guy.
He's from Malcolm in the Middle. He worked at the store with.
I've seen that guy in so many other things that he's always some
No,
kind of like
he's
store
that.
clerk.
Yes. No, that's what I was
or-
saying. He was
or
a store clerk in
Yeah,
Malcolm in the Middle.
he's
Yeah.
always that guy. I love those guys.
But yeah, so she's just trying to flirt. But
Yeah.
she's just trying to get away
Away
from the floor. She's lost her glasses. She can't
She can't
see.
see, and she gets right up on this dude, and she's just like, "Oh."
And so she's trying to put
Alright,
the
whatever.
moves on him. And so they think she's a hooker. But when Rick looks at the footage, looks at the camera, he goes,
Oh,
that's
shit,
her.
that's her.
Which I find hard to believe.
Yeah, because he saw her for a half second.
With glasses on and a blonde wig.
Yeah, I mean, he did see that her wig fell off.
I
But like,
know,
and
but
she had
he didn't see her face when
like
the wig fell off and the
fucking
glasses were
like
gone.
like a millisecond.
He saw like the
as
back
she
of her.
ran
He saw like
away.
the back of her head.
Right.
But so he
Should
recognized.
not know what her face looks
We'll just
like.
let it slide. He recognized her. He goes running for her. We get this fun little. We're not going to get into every bit of this montage. We'll just say
Because
it's a
the
crazy
security
montage.
guards see her and they call Kevin, and it's like
And
a
so
race
this is
between
the moment
Rick
where
and
we
Kevin.
made. This is the moment where we made fun of the not using a cell phone.
Yeah.
Because instead of just being like, "I'll call your cell phone and tell you where they're going," he says, "Let me steal one of these radios and give you this walkie-talkie so that way I can tell you where they're going. But so we get this whole crazy scene. They're running through the hotel. You don't need to know all the details. He just keeps radioing them like, they went this way, they went that way, they hit the elevators, they're going upstairs. What floor?
Where he figured out what floor they were on was pretty cool.
No, yeah,
he like goes back to the footage and like zooms in.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't. He zooms in on his ID,
name badge
on his ID. Calls the front desk like, we got a whatever the fuck his name was at the hotel. Oh, he's in this room.
Now's the point though. We find out that on top of Rick recognizing her, Kevin did.
Yeah.
Even
when
though
did he even see her?
We said that in the flashback.
Like, she was blonde with glasses
Across the auditorium.
Yeah.
She was literally on the other side of the stadium.
At a glance, but somehow he has memorized her bone structure,
And
I
so
guess.
while standing in the elevator with her, he is like,
that's the bitch.
I gotta kill her.
I know who that is. I gotta get her.
He's smart enough, he knows not to get off the elevator on their floor. Takes it up to 30, the one floor up. Stairs down, so that way he's not on footage walking out behind him.
But Rick...
But he's an idiot because he would still be on footage walking down on their floor 30 seconds after. Which, if anything, makes him look more suspicious than if he walked off the elevator with them.
It does. I didn't think of that.
So stupid.
That looks really
This guy
bad.
is head of security.
For real.
In the military.
Whose dick you suck to get that commander rank?
But so he is now chasing them down on the floor. We get my favorite. Like, again, the POV shots are cool.
Yeah.
The pulling away from them, it's awesome. This one is my favorite.
This.
He is trying to figure out where they went. He can't figure it out. He hears noise from one of the rooms.
And he like leans up to the door.
Up to it, hoping it's going to be the... Well, I don't even think it was the door. It's like the wall. Right? Yeah. And so he just leans up to listen. As he's listening, camera goes above him. And so we're seeing... essentially, if there was no ceiling...
Yeah.
We're seeing the camera go across into the first room.
And it's fucking loved this.
It's people having sex in the first room.
Some frat boys.
Having a party.
A
some
business guy just like asleep because he's tired.
But each time, you get to see the wall division between each room.
So good. I loved this fucking shot so much.
And then we get to the last room, and it's the room where Julia is with the guy that she's trying to flirt with. And once it gets in there, as if one steady shot, right? As if it's on a crane.
Right.
The camera comes in completely vertical looking down and slowly transition down to
into the room.
Into a normal shot. Why?
I can't get over how good that shot was.
I loved it. Right? It's my favorite shot in the whole
movie.
Entire
movie. The cool one shot in the beginning is fantastic. But like this was top tier.
It's great, dude.
So if you watch nothing else from this movie, watch this fucking shot.
Oh, for sure.
And take notes for any filmmakers. Like, do more shit like this. This was cool as fuck.
Once we get in the room, though, we see things have now shifted. Because again, I'm not gonna lie. When they were downstairs, she was putting the moves on him hard.
I don't blame this guy for thinking he was about to get some.
No means no.
I get that too, but he thought he was going to get it. But as soon as she was like, no, he should have been like...
He should have been okay and dealt with it.
Shouldn't have been a dick.
But she was putting it on hard.
She really was. And then, but as soon as the lady changes her mind, don't be an asshole. Be like, all right, I guess I'm just going to go over here now.
But even beyond that, though, did you notice as soon as he got offended because she did say no, his first words were, I've got a wife. I don't have to take this.
I am a happily married man, pointing at his ring.
And it's like, are you though?
Are you? You couldn't have been 10 minutes ago. You were literally like sprucing up the room.
No, and you're literally mad right now because she said no.
Right.
You are angrily yelling to her that you're married because she
not
said
gonna sleep with you.
I think we've lost something here.
Doesn't make sense, man.
I think we've lost a step.
Don't blame him for thinking he was gonna get some. But then she said no. So you should have just went with it.
Thankfully, Rick shows up.
Just throws him out of the fucking room.
Saves the day, because who knows how bad that might have gotten.
It really could have, because he's a lot bigger than her.
It was dangerous.
Yeah. So Rick comes and throws him out of the fucking room.
You can't do that.
Yeah, I take a walk,
just fucking
asshole.
Go.
This hotel fucking sucks.
Yeah, well, and he finally gets to talk to her. He finally gets to try to find out, and he finds out more. And now we get to find out why this is happening.
Yep.
Why we have a conspiracy going on.
Why the secretary got shot to begin with. All this shit.
So there's a top secret. Well, it got mentioned once earlier about why the sector,
Yeah,
why
Kevin
the
mentioned it.
crazy Palestinian might have shot the
Yeah,
sector.
Kevin, a new point defense system for ships called
an airstrike
is it airstrike
or something like that.
Air shield,
Air raid. I don't know. You get it. It's air something.
Yeah,
it's in the sky and it would shoot missiles. That's
to
all.
Keep it from hitting ships.
That's all we really need to worry about.
Yeah.
And when it got mentioned earlier, it got mentioned like it wasn't important, right?
Yeah,
just
like,
he,
they don't want us.
He was like, well, he goes, that guy's like a crazy conspiracy Palestinian, so he just heard about it and thought the worst or something.
Yeah,
stupid.
so he decided he needed to stop it. His suicide note's full of all the the blah.
Now we hear from Julia that all of the tests have been faked.
Yep, it doesn't actually work.
It's not accurate. Civilians will die. Innocent soldiers will die because the accuracy is not as good as they say.
Yeah,
and
they
so
just
if
put
you're
on a
trying
big
to shoot,
fireworks
well, think
show.
about it. If you're trying to shoot a ballistic missile coming at something down before it gets to them, but it's not accurate.
It's the
chances that you could shoot the people you're trying to save are very real.
Also true.
And that's what she's saying, because she keeps saying innocent soldiers are going to die. So she's saying if we use this to save a ship that's being shot at, they could shoot the ship.
Yep, it's going to miss and people are going to get fucking hurt, or it might just not even stop the missile to begin with.
And again, people will still die.
It doesn't fucking
There
work.
are a lot of problems with this if it's not accurate.
But they kept feeding the secretary bullshit.
They kept feeding him results that was 100%. That's how
100%.
She literally says, that's why I knew. And anybody would. Nothing. I mean
100%.
that. I mean that
Yeah,
100%.
no bullshit.
And this, you shouldn't even believe that. But nothing is 100%. Just understand that, everybody. It doesn't
that's
exist.
a big clue. If you hand in data that is completely, every single test is 100%.
Well, especially when you're firing something,
Yes,
right?
it's like,
mechanical failure is a thing that happens.
Nothing is that accurate. You can make a machine that targets
and it won't be 100%.
And it still will not.
It will
every
be
time.
It at best
will be
99.9.
Yeah,
at best.
There will be tiny variations in accuracy. Nothing is 100%.
So if obviously she says it like she's a genius for figuring it out. That's the main reason I want to point this out. She is not a genius for figuring this out.
They weren't even good at hiding it.
No.
There was like 2 separate explosions. Like she knew that, so she was feeding it to the secretary. So that's why Dunn was like, well, then both of them have to fucking die because my ships need his motivation makes no sense. He was in Iraq, the Iraq war, and his ship got hit and he had to kill a bunch of his own people to save the ship because of a missile. So he wants a defense system that's really good. Yeah. Why are you backing one that does not fucking work?
I understand.
It made no sense.
Well, later on when he has the conversation with Rick, his exact defense of that is something is better than us not having anything. And I was like, we can work the bugs out.
Yeah, you don't just throw the entire thing away. Jesus Christ.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Still, though, it blew my fucking mind.
I understand. It's the kind of stupid that as soon as the thought pops in your head, you got to talk about it.
You have to say it.
Because it's like a worm digging its way in. Because you're just like, why? How stupid that is.
It bothered me so much.
I understand, man. I get it. Now we see in the hallway, right? We get another moment of the dude that got thrown out.
Yeah, he goes and he's like pissed. This hotel fucking sucks. I hate this hotel. And he runs into
Kevin walking down the hallway, full military uniform. So full all the medals he's got and stuff. He walks up and this guy tells him and he goes, I'm very interested. Tell me more.
Yeah, what happened?
Like, this dude wouldn't think to himself,
why the fuck does this Navy guy give a shit?
Why does this guy care? No, he's instantly like, follow me. I'll show you.
This dude kicked me right out of my fucking room. And they go in and he opens it.
Hey, is that a silencer?
That cracked me up. He's just like, that's silent. I thought he was going to shoot him.
He just runs out of the room because they're not still there.
Yeah, they're not there. They went,
obviously.
Yeah, they left. They're off in a stairwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in the stairwell.
Again, they didn't leave because they knew someone was coming. They just left because
it's that guy's room.
Right? Like he gave her a minute to calm down and tell him the story.
Yeah, and then
they were like,
fuck out.
We should leave.
Then she starts...
This moment is a little upsetting to me all of the craziness that's gone on this night, right? She was trying to be a hooker 20 minutes ago just so she could get safe. They sit down in the hallway. Rick offers her a cigarette to maybe calm her nerves.
I'd have took it.
It's not even that she didn't take it. I understand we live in a world today where there are connotations on smoking. She looks at him like it was like maybe this was one of the worst acts made in the movie.
Dare you?
And I was
I
like,
don't smoke.
he wasn't trying to be offensive.
But
he was just like, it's been stressful. This is a thing that might help de-stress you.
Exactly.
If you are a smoker. Because again, he doesn't know you.
No, you were literally in my life for 5 fucking seconds before gunshots.
Right? So he's like,
Just tell me what
he
the
was
fuck
just trying to be
happened,
polite.
right?
He wasn't trying to.
I need you to calm down.
I don't know.
Smoke the cigarette and tell me what the fuck happened.
It's so weird. She knows, like we already started a little bit of this. She knows about the missile test. She knows
She
that
works for the
yeah.
company that produced the missiles, and she noticed all the data was the same.
She was there that night. Again, she mentioned a little bit in the room. She's telling them the rest now. She was there. Basically, in the room, she says why she knew everybody, right?
Yeah.
In the military. Now she's telling him why she was there.
Yeah,
right?
she
That's
was
the
there
difference.
to give
That's what happens. She was there
the
to
evidence
meet with
to the
the SecDef.
secretary.
Because SecDef said, I believe that you might be telling me the truth,
but you need to bring me evidence. And this was her bringing him evidence.
How did she contact him?
Email. That's what he said. She emailed him. That's genius.
Because he didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
Right?
But
we saw
now,
it in the
but now you've made yourself a target because all,
everybody exactly.
all
That's what he
emails
says.
that go to public figures like that get
certainly in the fucking
screened.
military.
Yeah, they get screened. Like they're gonna read that email
again, he's
long
SecDef.
before it gets to
He's not
him.
a military member, but he is definitely connected.
Yeah.
To them. He has a military email.
Yeah, there's a clearance level that
You know what I mean?
has to go through.
I wouldn't be surprised if his email ends in Army. You get what I'm saying? He's SecDef.
Jesus
is literally the guy in charge of those things.
Yeah, but she thought she could just email him and talk about all this
But
stuff.
yeah, so he's like, well, that's when Rick breaks the news to her. You're an idiot.
Yeah, she's like, I was
You
being
were-
careful.
He's like, you weren't being careful. You were fully set up.
Yeah.
You were sitting down again.
Exactly at the moment they wanted you
And
to
again,
sit.
this is what I want to point out. Right now, she has not mentioned Kevin yet, right?
Not yet.
And he says this to her. You were where they wanted you to be. And he's not thinking to himself, oh, wait.
She's sitting where Kevin was. That's where she was right where my boy was
Right?
at.
He's still trying to, again.
He doesn't want.
Well, he's still trying to defend it, right? He's
Yeah.
still trying to be like, oh, that's right. He was just going after the titties.
Like we all would.
And so he's just like, you sat where they wanted you to sit. My buddy left. You took the seat. They wanted you to be there. They were going to.
You were the
that
second target.
bullet didn't miss him.
It missed
It
you.
missed you.
You were the second target.
And she's like, and now's when she says,
I love it. I thought I'd just get fired.
I thought I'd get fired, not killed.
Right.
But now's when she throws out Kevin's name.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
No. Like Kevin, Commander Kevin Dunn,
but you might be
military,
wrong.
like a
Well, no.
super Boy Scout hero.
And he's, they're talking, and he's like, you got to admit, you could be wrong. I mean, he was pretty far away.
And she starts
goes,
to-
I did
lose my glasses.
You're right.
And I might
And then
have
that's
been
when
wrong.
he
And he's
goes,
just like, God, you
fuck it, you're telling me the truth because you lost them after
the
that
gunshots happened.
After you seen him. So
Yeah.
you definitely knew it
because
was
he saw
him.
her glasses
Right.
get broken.
Because she says, I saw him talking to the Palestinian.
Yeah, and he's just like, God, fuck.
Not only
damn it."
talking to him, handing him a radio.
Yep, putting
An
an
earpiece.
and the whole fucking thing. Oh.
Now, I want to
he
ask
does
you.
not want to believe it.
I want to ask you, right? So this is the era of earpieces being the tiny yellow thing in the ear, right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck were Kevin and the Palestinian guy wearing full on
Like fucking
around,
like a headset with like a little like mouthpiece
right?
coming out.
Was that not weird to
it
you?
was. I don't understand.
And how did
here
he
comes the pain guy had just the little,
I know.
little tiny one.
And who took the headpiece off of the Palestinian guy after he got shot?
Kevin did. I saw
Did
him
he?
do it when after
Okay.
he shoots him. Like immediately after he shoots him and shit, he
I
goes.
saw him slide the note in the pocket.
as
Did
soon
he
as-
also
right
do,
after
did he
he
grab the headset
snatches
too?
it.
Okay, I'm glad you noticed that because I saw the note. I knew that happened. I didn't notice.
Yeah, he does both,
Because I was
right,
going to
at
be
the
like,
same
that's what I
time.
kept thinking. I was like, why did he even need?
Why would
Oh,
he
I will
have an
stand by
earpiece?
that. Why did he need it?
Yeah, because who the fuck was talking to him?
The only thing he needed to know was when to shoot, right? Mm-hmm. They already had to have the same sign to the boxer.
Yeah, that was the signal. When he goes down, you shoot.
So the guy would have just been the signal to. Well, again, it's not even when he goes down. It could have still been the same guy screaming. The guy screaming could have been the signal to both people.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't need the headset at all because it's not like it's not like you see because Kevin in the beginning of the movie has like the tracker thing in tech, but he doesn't have a headset. If he'd have been like, "Oh yeah, here's my cool like walkie-talkie thing,"
dumb part of plan.
Easily been explained away.
Dumb part of plan.
Really dumb part.
Like we already mentioned, though, there was the planting of evidence when this was happening.
Rick does not want to believe any of this.
Well, and when it's going on, he is having a little bit of some flashes of the things that happened, right?
Yeah.
Again, this is when we get the red herring about the phone call again.
Yeah,
he remembers the phone call
that
he
talks
to
shit
about the phone call again. This is why I was telling you it's definitely a red herring. They wanted you to focus on the phone call that was not important.
Just happened to happen at that time.
But so as of right now, we still don't know exactly what's going on, right? She tells us that Kevin's involved. We think military corruption. Right?
Yeah,
we don't know
like
exactly because again, the one thing that Rick is still adamant about is if Kevin was involved, Kevin was not necessarily the person at the top, right? Which is pseudo true.
Yeah.
Because we immediately leave here to Kevin having a meeting with Powell. Our rich guy. Powell is essentially Donald Trump. I literally, like, actually, when it was written, that's who they designed him after.
No bullshit. Okay.
They designed him to be Donald Trump. I'm not. This isn't me trying to
project anything.
Yeah, this was
legitimate
facts I found
from the writer.
Yeah.
They modeled him after Donald Trump. That is fucking amazing.
But so he is definitely supposed to be the billionaire guy. He is in cahoots with Kevin.
Yeah, because he's the guy who's making the air defense thing.
He would definitely make money off of everything that's going on.
Big lucrative government contract like that. Fuck yeah.
But again, and even the scene that we see, pseudo makes you want to think that maybe Powell is the one, right? Like he is the one at the top. He paid this to all happen, right?
Because he's the one.
But then when we get to the part where Kevin tells us he killed the two other guys, he says, I've got two men on the inside.
I thought it was 4.
He goes, oh, were 2 more people expendable? I sure hope I'm not on that list. Implying he can't be the guy at the top.
Yeah.
The guy at the top doesn't worry about being expendable from someone else, right? So Rick was adamant it couldn't be his buddy at the top.
No, but it is.
It is. He was sharing the top.
Yeah.
At best, I would say that, right? Him and Powell were sharing the top.
It was their idea.
But, well, I would say with what we hear Kevin say later, it's Kevin's idea. The way he tells Rick, this is about saving people.
He planned all this.
But he just knew that the person that would help him make this happen is the guy who's going to make some money from if this happens.
Because he wants to build that fucking hotel.
Millennium
Falcon.
thing.
Millennium Falcon, whatever the fuck it was. It looks like a missile. Did you see it?
When he shows it off now, he points it off in the background right now during this scene.
It's like a missile laying on the ground. It's so stupid.
Now we see Rick and Julia and what they're about to get into. And it's just Julia getting locked in a room.
Yeah, he goes and like locks her in a fucking storage room.
How did he talk her into going into that? I mean, did you see it? All that's in there is metal paneling.
Yeah.
Both on the wall and just like, that's all that is physically stored in the room. It is
just a sheet metal room.
And it's half out, like, I mean, it is more outside.
Loading dock?
Right?
Maybe?
Would you agree with me?
Yeah, it's like half out the building.
It's in the elements.
Yeah.
It is not.
Because you can hear the storm going on.
It is not protected by solid walls.
No.
Right?
It's just.
It is literally just that metal paneling.
Yeah, it's like tin roofing material.
And this is after we've already seen several background shots of the storm, such as the ball on the ground.
Yeah, the big millennium
There is a giant millennium steel ball that was somewhere on top of the building.
It was on top of the building in the beginning.
And is now on the ground. We didn't get to see it fall.
I would have liked to have seen that fall. That would have been a cool shot. All the other cool shots in this movie, that would have been the coolest one. The ball falling due to the storm.
But we don't see it.
Big crash of sparks, right?
Maybe they wanted to keep most of this practical.
You could have done that practical.
They didn't have the budget, most likely.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that one probably.
Well, especially
now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably an expensive shot.
because things would have got destroyed.
Oh yeah, they would have.
Yeah.
That's 50 grand in pyro just right there.
We see that he locks her in this metal
And
box.
I don't think he told her he was going to lock her.
No,
in
he
there.
didn't. No, he didn't.
He just threw her in there.
No, because she starts as soon as it happens. She starts
that's right.
banging
She's
on
like,
it.
the door's locked.
Yeah, he was just like, I gotta take care of some things.
I gotta go see what's going on. So
Basically, he knows that, again, she didn't think about it, how stupid all of this was.
Yeah.
He knows her life is in danger.
Yeah, super
And so he's
danger.
like, you need to stay here. I'm going to look more into this.
Yep.
Well, because again, he knows his buddy.
yeah, he does.
When he locks her in there, he does not have a clear idea of what he's doing.
No, he's got to go up
But
to
he's
the
walking
arena
across the
and think
floor
about it,
again, right? He
And
looks up.
and he sees the blimp.
And he remembers the guy telling him we had a new type of camera.
Yep.
The guy did not tell him it was in the blimp. He just said we had a new one.
We had a new
but
camera.
When he looked at the blimp, you could see it, right? He saw it, and he goes. Basically, we didn't get to see it on camera, but he went back up to the dude and he goes, "So was the new camera that?
Yeah,
Was that the new camera?" We just panned straight into the conversation of the guy being like, "Yeah, it's brand new and it can do this."
it was here but me.
But so obviously the conversation before that was that it?
Yeah, was that?
I think I figured it out. Was that the new high-tech camera you were talking
was
about?
that the one you were talking about earlier?
But then as soon, like, he's about to hit play, and Rick's like, "Look, man,
I need to watch this by myself. You need
you
to
got to go."
You need to get.
And I wanted to be like, this, he just got finished hearing a conversation about how this is the brand new, high-tech, nobody knows it exists type camera.
Right.
And he says, "I need you to leave."
Yep, get the fuck out. Just
Bullshit.
real quick.
That guy would have been like, "Look,
Kiss
any of the
my
other
ass.
cameras, I'd let you do yourself."
Right.
That one,
Nope. I have to stay. You're gonna fuck it up, man.
at best, I have to be here while you do
Yeah.
it. I can turn my back.
That's my ass.
But
if
I'm gonna
anything
be in the
happens.
room.
But no, he tells him to fuck off.
And then he fucks off.
I like to think he said it to protect the guy. Because if the dude
Yeah,
was
yeah,
standing
yeah.
there to see, like, well, then Commander Dipshit's going to have to shoot him, too.
Yeah, well, people don't know he's coming yet.
Oh, right.
He does sneak up, though. It's
does.
so crazy. Why does he come up?
Quietest steps I've ever heard.
Why did he have the thought to go up there?
I don't know.
So he's watching the footage. While he's watching the footage, you barely see anything that's worth reporting from the footage, though, right?
Yeah,
the footage. You see that you can see the angle that there was a shooter and that
Kevin shoots him.
Well, you don't even necessarily from what because he stops it before the shots.
Yeah.
You see that Kevin was standing behind the shooter.
I guess because his gun was already out.
But the angle doesn't prove anything.
yeah.
So it's not like he knew the shooter was there and wasn't shooting.
I mean, I don't know.
He was already chasing a woman he thought was involved
His
in
story
shit.
still tracks. I don't think you've caught him on anything, really.
Barely. Like, you mean like you're talking about like
He's
the
facing
difference?
a different direction than
You're
he
talking
said he
about
was.
the difference of like 5 seconds of his story, and I don't think that you're going to convince most people you figured something massive out with a 5-second discrepancy in the
No,
guy's story.
Not really, because that's all it is. It's just
It's
him
literally
hands
5
across
seconds.
And like, there's him.
There's
and then
him and
shooter
his gun's pointing down at the ground.
Yep, and then then the
Shooter guy's already aiming.
Yeah, it's
that's
like-
it.
Yeah, that's it. It pauses, and he's
You can't even tell from the camera that he's got the headset
yeah.
on.
You can't even tell he's got the little.
Mind you, every
microphone.
other time we see the cameras, they can zoom in and it's super crystal
Super
clear.
magic cameras,
But
that
this
can
time-
can pick up the ID of a guy across the room.
But this time, you can't even tell if the man's wearing a headset. Either man is wearing a headset.
No, that would be ridiculous.
But either way, while he's watching it, you hear him gasp as if he did see something.
I like his reaction. He's just like, oh no.
He gasps like he saw
Oh,
something. And he's like,
no.
it was true. And then while he's saying that, you see behind him.
Yeah, just
You see,
quiet as
you
fuck.
literally see Kevin's feet.
Yep.
Just step down. You don't even.
silently. Doesn't even make a sound.
If you weren't paying attention to the background, you wouldn't know that that's what just happened.
Nope.
Because it is so slyly just like you see the 2 steps
Right.
and then the transition of scene. So if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't have known he was there until transition of scene.
so good, dude. If you're not like, look, because it's over
There's
his
so-
shoulder,
yeah.
off in the
so
corner.
much happens like in the background and things of this movie that again, like people need to pay attention.
They really do.
There's so much
so
to
many
enjoy
lessons.
about this.
So many lessons for like shot composition in this movie.
Definitely.
Who did the cinematography? I'm gonna look that up later. But this is where Kevin is like, look, man, the whole reason you were here is because I knew I could pay you off if anything went bad. So
yeah, he was put there to be one of the pawns.
Yeah, give me a
and he
number.
tells him that he's basically gonna, his plan now, right?
Yeah.
Is to use this fervor to get the nation
behind them on this like project.
Right? Like he's like,
and
now
then they'll have all the fun.
Now that the SecDef died, we can convince people
that
the Palestinians did it, and we need a weapon like this.
Yeah, so we'll have all the money.
So again, when we heard about what this project was in the beginning, it was a defensive.
Yep.
Now he is talking about how
we can attack.
We can use the Palestinians' fervor to make this an offensive weapon.
It's not okay.
So Kevin is a much dirtier person than the movie even actually says.
We're supposed to think that like Nic Cage is like this smarmy, like dickhead, fucking bad guy.
The movie,
fuck no.
Well, that's what it plays with. It plays with your thoughts, right?
Because Kevin Dunn is like the upstanding military.
He's got high
Boy
honors.
Scout, but he's way worse of a fucking person.
Way worse.
Way worse. Like, yeah, Nic Cage will like fleece you for like Rick. Sorry.
Nick. Well, I don't know. Nic Cage
might do this too. I mean, he might
he
fleece
has
you
a
for a
big
little
tax
bit
bill
of money.
he's been paying off.
He might hold you up for some cash. We love you, Nick. No, we're kidding.
But yeah, Rick is definitely set up to be is one of the things the movie does. It is to play with your thought of good and bad, right?
It does it great.
But yeah, like I said, he's so much worse than everything you thought, though, because like the amount of involvement he has here is in Kevin. It's so crazy because the amount of involvement he has in every aspect of this.
Cold-blooded kills his own people to make sure this gets on.
And again, like I said, he said to his friend that it was defensive weapon, right? Again, when he was way in the beginning, when he wanted to try to make it seem like he's not a. This was before any of this happened. This was before shots fired.
Yeah, he let this fucking out way in the beginning.
This is before SecDef died. He was trying to set up like that. This project was a wholesome project.
Yeah, it was a good thing.
But the whole time he knew his master plan was to be making an offensive weapon.
Yep.
That was not accurate. But yeah, from this moment on though, all we get is just constant Kevin making fun of his friend.
Yeah, like you've always like took the
insulting
money,
him left and right.
You're a scumbag. Like do what you've always done.
Take the money.
Take
the
million.
Money. I'll pay you $1 million. You know your wife would like that.
Tell me
you
where
can't
the girl
treat her
is.
the way she deserves. You know you want this money to do that.
Yeah, give her something nice for once.
I was like, God,
tell me where the girl is.
God damn. And this is when he utters the words, right? This is when he says,
I've never killed anybody.
Well, you don't have to.
I'll do that, man. That's on me. I'll bust this bitch's skull open.
But Rick knows. The blood would be on his hands.
Yeah, that's where he's like, and even to the bloody $100 bill, right?
He sees it. That's the reminder. That's the reminder.
Where he's like, man, these are people, right? I can't. He even says it. He's like, I can't do that shit.
Yeah.
And fucking Kevin says something, and then Rick's like, well, I mean,
he starts erasing the tape.
Yeah, he starts erasing the tape, and he's like, man, it doesn't matter. Like Tyler talked. If Tyler talked to me, he'll talk to somebody else, and then pan over
to Lincoln Tyler standing behind him.
Oh no, they've already got to him.
This is nuts too.
Is where you find out like again, he is not a good dude,
and it's not even just that he made the deal. Right?
Yeah, not that he's like.
It's not that he renegotiated.
Renegotiating
was still bad because he knows these are killers.
Yeah,
but we immediately see that he is not just renegotiated. He is about to start beating the shit.
He beats the fuck out of fucking Rick
just because they told him to.
Yeah, he's like beat the shit out this guy until he tells us where that girl is.
Because the money wasn't cutting it.
And he can stand there and act like he feels bad about it all he fucking wants. I do not care.
So he gets the shit beat out of him. I want to say right now, he can take a punch, though.
He
talks smack.
He talks so much shit.
He said, why don't you let me take a swing?
Right? It was so good. He said,
I'll let you, but then he doesn't. That was so fucked up. I was like, you should have let him really swing.
You really should have let him swing.
Take one punch from the man. Again, he had already been hit enough.
Is this your champ? Is that all you got?
He had taken so many punches that even if Nic Cage hit him, it wouldn't have hurt, right? So it's like, you should have let him take the one.
Right. Let him get one right on the chin.
You let the other dude headbutt you?
Yeah, for real.
You should have let Nic Cage swing one
good punch in. It ain't gonna hurt you, champ. He fucks him up, dude. Like, they beat the piss out of him.
And then Kevin walks up and starts talking more shit.
More shit. He's like, look, dude, you're not a hero. Tell me what the fuck I want to know. Even if you were a hero, the people would turn on you. They would find out all the bullshit you've been in.
I couldn't believe how much shit between the scene before and right now. How much shit he talks to this person that is supposed to be his childhood friend,
his friend.
It's so nuts. Literally, my notes are like, oh, he's showing his true colors and what he really thought about this guy right now.
Jesus Christ.
He's letting it loose. He has never been friends with this guy.
Never.
Right?
They
have known each other
dog shit
and they have
to
hung
me.
out, but they have never been friends. He has always bottled this opinion up.
Yep.
And that's what's been going on.
I'm better than you.
100%.
You are scum. I let you hang out with me.
Like we said, from just a strictly outside view, you might think he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
But again, when you look at the actual demeanor of these people,
right?
Rick is a good guy.
He is. He just likes to do dumb shit.
He's got some vices.
Yeah.
Right?
But he's not a bad guy.
He's a good guy with bad vices.
Exactly. If he was a bad guy,
on the other hand,
if he was a bad guy, he'd have jumped right in on Kevin's side.
But on the other hand, Kevin is a guy who is bad.
Yeah.
And pretends to be good.
Yep. Mr. All-American Boy Scout.
He knows how to paint the picture.
Yeah. Those are the worst.
During all this, though, Rick decides to spit some blood all over him.
Right all over.
All over this metal.
All over his little fucking medals and ribbons and things. And he punches the fuck out of him.
I'll give some credit to Kevin on this. I didn't think he had it in him.
I didn't either.
That was a hell of a punch.
Yeah, it was.
Even though, I mean, Rick couldn't have defended himself. So I'm not saying it was like a good one as in he got one in on him. But I just mean like it was solid. It was solid.
I want to point out Rick was taking shots to the face from the world heavyweight champion and did not go down. But then Kevin hit him and he went down. Maybe Kevin should box.
No, cumulative.
Cumulative damage.
Yeah, that kind of thing adds up, dude. It adds up.
Yeah.
It's not like Kevin's got anything going on here. It's just that because he's already taken 9, the 10th didn't.
That's why Kevin could knock him out.
Yeah.
The champ has already been waylaying me, dude.
After he knocks him the fuck out, he tells him he's lucky he's not dead.
Anybody else would have killed you spitting on their uniform like that.
What did he put on his back?
It was a tracker. Remember he has the
I know,
little
but
weird
he just
tracker?
lays it on him.
It's magic.
This is why I'm saying it to you. Like, I know we see as soon as this scene is done and he stands up that he's tracking him.
No idea.
If you watch what happens,
just kind of gently places it on him.
He doesn't even he doesn't pat it like you just insinuated. He literally walks up as if it's a mob movie and he's putting a bullet on, like he just gently places it, right?
I'm going to put this coin on
as
your
a as a representation, like because he even says the words that would make sense as if he placed a bullet there, right? He says, if it were anybody else, you'd be dead, which you would say if you put a bullet there as a representation of the fact I could have put this bullet in you, not on you. But that's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a tracker. But I'm saying this because he sits it on him. The moment he would have stood up,
it should have fell off.
It would have fallen off. Because even if it was something that had an adhesive on it, you would have to push it. He did not push it.
Give it a little.
He literally sets it
so gently.
This is why I was saying, what did he put on him? I know it's supposed to be a tracker.
I understand.
But it was not a tracker.
What was holding it to his shirt?
Yeah. Because it is definitely not a tracker.
Elven magic.
That's why they don't let you see it. Is because if you could see whatever it is, you would have more questions about why it didn't fall off of him when he stood up.
Nope, it's too small. Never mind. I thought I had something.
Because again, like think about it. You don't see it. You see after he knocks him out, he walks over. He grabs it out of the dude's pocket.
Like,
dude's in a military uniform.
Right.
He walks up to him and he reaches into his pocket and pulls this thing out.
It's on his back even. It's not even like on a lapel. If he'd have shoved it in a jacket pocket, that would have made way more sense.
And again, I'm not lying to you. I don't know what the hell a tracker in 1998 would have looked like.
It would have been huge.
But something tells me you couldn't set it on somebody who's laying flat on the ground's back and then stand up and it not fall the fuck off of them.
Nope.
Okay. We can move past this now.
The outlandishness of it.
It was insane. Basically, the movie is... it's 2 seconds from done.
It's basically done.
So... he stands up
and starts
stumbling across the entire casino,
Yeah,
right?
because they want to find out where that bitch is, so they're gonna follow
we
him.
We don't even know that yet, and he doesn't know that. We literally just see him finally stand up from being knocked unconscious.
POV shots. He wakes up and he pushes himself up off the ground,
and he starts walking. And then after he's been walking, that's when we see
Kevin's got the little
Kevin's
tracker thing out. Yeah,
and so he tracks him straight there. He's again, nothing special is happening. He walks straight to the room.
Yep.
He wakes up knowing all this shit happened and was like, I better go straight
to the chick that they need to find.
This being the man who knew that she got set up earlier isn't thinking I'm being set up for them to follow me. Okay. I get it. His brain's a little fried
I was
right
to
now.
say, he's all punch drunk and shit.
But so he doesn't run.
No, he bumbles.
Very slowly.
Very slowly.
During this moment.
This scene goes a little long.
That's why we don't got to focus on it. During all of this, in case you have forgotten that there is a storm and a hurricane outside.
Giant hurricane.
We see a POV of Julia in the room with giant metal things piercing the walls.
There's a giant arrow comes flying from
I don't know where it came from.
I don't know what it is.
But it pierces the wall and she's freaking out. And then again, it's just there to remind you there's a storm outside. This is what I want to point out. It got cut from the movie. But apparently there was a massive... The storm was supposed to lead to a massive wave that came crashing in. Because again, you see the casino is right on the waterfront.
Yeah, it's right there. It's by the ocean.
Because when the news van, you can see that it's like oceanfront, news van, hotel. And so you know it's right there. So this wave was supposed to come crashing in and water spill into the lobby of the hotel
arena
or a casino, whatever it is.
Whatever the fuck.
All of the above.
All of the above.
Really, because they usually are, right?
Yeah, they're all the same.
So, but it was supposed to flood while, again, I don't know because I've never seen this, but I would assume while he's stumbling across the casino, it floods and then he swims his way. We'll point this out because once the scene is done also, he mentions almost drowning.
Yeah,
and then
like
if you don't
on.
know this, Bo came to me and mentioned it, and that's why I had to be like, I know why.
Like at the end of the movie, he's like, man, thinking about being in that tunnel and almost drowning.
And you're like,
wait, what?
When did that happen?
When the fuck did that happen?
So it was supposed to happen here on his trek to her.
Yep.
But when he gets to her, of course, like we said, he had a tracker on him.
Yeah, and Kevin was right behind him. They have the cool, like, the lightning flashes and he sees the shadow.
He knows.
He's
Rick
like,
knows.
Oh, he's right behind me. Fuck.
He's got a gun. I see the gun.
I see it.
This, though, is the moment we see outside. Again, like we said, it's already been nuts, right?
Yep.
The arrow thing came through. We see the cops are racing towards
the
building.
They're racing toward the building.
This has nothing to do with the next part.
Shit.
I just wanted to point it out. We see 2 cops in a van and they're flying towards the building already. We see the ball. Right,
news reporter lady is still outside.
She's still outside reporting on the news, and we see from that POV that lets us see her over her shoulder during the news.
The ball is like rolling toward them.
Oh my
Indiana
God.
Jones style.
I only wanted to bring that because again, it doesn't nothing happens here really. Nothing important enough to mention with the ball.
The ball just kind of makes the cop car swerve into the tunnel,
but it's still where they need him to be when it all said and done.
Very convenient, right? They swerved right in.
So I said I don't even want to mention it for the movie's sake because we don't even need it to tell you what happened in the movie. I mention it because this is just one of those things where the ball is one of those things where they sold the movie on this scene.
Yeah.
If you saw trailers and commercials
was
for
in
this
it.
movie, you knew there was a fucking storm that they basically cut out. You knew that the ball was in the movie. You might have even seen the goddamn flooded room. I swear to God.
I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, all of the things they sold you on this movie are either not in it or not important. It's like the fucking it's like the tractor wheel and Twister, you know?
Oh yeah,
not really in the movie.
It's not really in the movie, but you see it in the trailer. That's right.
So things in this movie are just like that. They are either not in it or not as important as the trailer made you think. So all this is going down. He's trying to get to the girl. He realizes, just to set us back up, Kevin's behind him. While he's trying to get it out, he looks up at the TV. He sees the reporter's stuff and he sees the cops.
The cops are coming. He's like, I got one shot at this.
Well, this is what's nuts, though. He sees the cops, and he knows he needs to make sure the cops know what's going on. And so he starts banging and screaming in a way that Julia would understand.
Hey,
she needs to break the wall down?
I guess, because she starts.
That's what happens.
She starts banging
he
on the
bangs
thing
on
with
the
a
door,
pipe.
and then she says, like an aha moment.
I got to get the door open.
But not that door. That's what I'm saying.
The
not
other door.
the door to where he's banging.
No, the other one to the outside.
How, dude? He doesn't yell cops. He doesn't yell
nothing.
We need to go that way. He sees it, bangs, and then she's like,
I know what to do. And Kevin like starts shooting.
maybe this ending is why people don't talk about it.
Maybe the ending is a little contrived because it's all very convenient because
It's too convenient.
Rick goes
again,
through the door.
She knows that it's Rick.
Yeah, and
Banging.
the cops come
so
through.
would she not have tried banging? Would she not have tore down the wall to Rick? All it would have taken is for us to hear him yell the lines, the cops are outside.
Right? Something. But
Because
no.
then it would explain why she tore that wall down.
But no, it's all like conveniently timed where he goes through the door, the cop van busts through the wall, but they magically time it where they go under the van and don't get hit. But Kevin comes through with the gun, and they're all like, "Drop this gun!"
No, I have such a problem with this because then Kevin starts telling them,
I'm DOD.
I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. He's
She's
a corrupt cop.
They're suspects. They don't believe him.
I don't know about you, but in my head, I'm like, they're looking at a decorated officer.
Yep.
He's already been the one that's on the news.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was on the news saying
Talking about this.
Like, we got the guy and all this other shit.
I don't believe the cops would have immediately been like, this is our suspect.
Because Nic Cage is bloody and beat to shit, and
He would look like the person that
he's
maybe...
still like in immaculate uniform, looking nice.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't have believed Nic Cage,
But they did.
but they do. And jig is up,
Everything's good. You think
We have
Kevin's going to jail.
right?
Everything's good there.
Kevin's trying to be like, Rick, help me, man.
Oh.
Like, we got this. And he has the great line. He's just like, there ain't no you and me, buddy. You just got snake eyes. Bam.
Because earlier he said it to him.
Yeah.
The snake eyes, not the other part, but he says the snake eyes. So yeah, Nick Cage finds a way.
Throws it right
Rick finds a
back.
way to bring it back. He's like,
Loved it. Just bam. You ain't got shit.
snake eyes.
This is so good. And Kevin's not going to go quietly.
No, he
turns around.
He was going to shoot himself.
And
They blow him in the shoulder. They hit him in the shoulder. This man's going to jail.
Yeah.
They were like, I don't think so, bitch.
bah!
You're going to get punished by the government. Deal with it. But now our story is basically done. We get a couple of wrap-ups. You think this is happy, right?
Yeah, because Rick's getting an award for being the big hero.
No, he's not.
Everything.
No, he's not.
Everything that Kevin said was going to happen
Happens.
happened.
The corruption
immediately
they find the
out.
corruption.
They immediately find out.
The only thing that works in his favor is they believe him about everything that happened that night.
Yeah.
In Kevin's version of it, they wouldn't have believed him once they found out about the
Yeah.
corruption.
But they do.
The only good thing here, and again, I'll say Rick seems okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, he does get indicted for all this shit.
But again, he seems.
He's like, I'm cool
We
with
see him
it.
talk to Julia.
Yeah, they at the very end. They
Very
meet
end,
up.
he talks to Julia, and when he talks to her, seems okay. He's only getting 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
That's not that bad, really.
We've seen him. He was a very corrupt cop.
Could have got way more.
12 to 18, he doesn't even mention good behavior.
Yeah, he could be out in 6 months.
Exactly. 12 to 18 is his regular sentence. It's not his good behavior.
Yep.
Because if it was, they would have said 18, 12. We know.
Yeah, we know
We've
how
all
this-
seen movies.
yeah,
we know how
this
they
works.
reference that. He did not say it that way.
Nope.
So good behavior, he could be out in 6.
There's nothing. So they made it seem like it was way more of a big deal.
It
than
wasn't.
It was.
Well, I don't even think at any point it was. Because like I said, he was okay with it. The only reason it would be a big deal is if he wasn't okay with it.
Yeah. And Julia did tell him to call him when he got out.
Well, because he lost his wife
And his girlfriend. They both
she
ran
hits him-
away.
The very last lines of the movie are literally her hitting him with the questions he hit her with in the
Yeah,
beginning.
it's like,
do you live around here?
You got a
You
girl.
got family around here?
You married? You got a girlfriend? You know.
And literally, it's fun. The first couple of answers are just silly, right?
Yeah.
And he chuckles on the second one because he realizes what she's doing. He's like, oh, okay, I get it.
I get it.
And then he knows where it's going. And so he chuckles a little bit more. And she goes, you married? And he goes, no, she left me. I'm surprised she hit it without a fade, right?
cracking up.
And then she immediately goes, yeah, a girlfriend? And he goes, no, she did too.
She ran away
And that's
too.
when she lost it. She was just like, okay, all right, that was good. That's the end.
That's the end. That's the movie.
Although
I watched it. I watched all the credits with the construction
The last second,
workers.
it's not really what I would call a post-credit scene.
Not really.
But again, all of it, like Bo said, is just construction workers doing work.
Construction
It doesn't
work.
even, I mean, it's not entertaining. But after every credit is
last
done,
second,
you
the
see
ring.
one of the construction workers been leaning on a pole.
Had his hand. I was wondering. I was like, why is his hand?
Because it was an awkward angle.
It really
right?
was.
He wasn't leaning on it in a way you
No, it's
think
like
he
he's very
might.
clearly like holding it in a certain position.
But yeah, so he's holding it.
And then he moves it away, and it's Redhead's.
It's the
fucking
Redhead's ring.
Yeah, big red ruby.
That's how they
sticking through the
that's
post.
That's how they got rid of her body.
They hit him in the fucking building.
Well, we seen it earlier.
Yeah, God, they were
Dumping
bagging
him.
him up and
Yeah.
putting him in the cement. That was our movie, and it
was amazing.
It was awesome.
Again, like we said, the ending might fumble,
but
we're
but
talking
it's
last
still
10
fun.
minutes. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even talking. You've sat through a beautiful, great, amazingly
Like,
shot.
I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, dude. Like usually I'll try and like take notes on the first run so I can watch it the second time and just enjoy it. Couldn't. I was too enthralled with the movie to take notes. I had to do it the other way around.
On that note, what do you think of the beer?
I'm drunk.
So back to what we were saying at the beginning. Maybe I was right.
No. Don't know
Maybe-
what you're talking about.
Maybe we shouldn't jump to conclusions. So it's
I'm
strong.
fine. It
It's
is very,
strong.
very
It's
strong.
delicious. But you need to
Control.
You need to have self-control. If you don't have self-control, this beer will get you in trouble.
Yeah, well, Jesus Christ, 11%.
And again, it tastes so good.
If you're a coffee drinker,
If
you
you're
like
a coffee,
bitter things.
you like dark chocolate.
dark. Ooh, I love dark
Yeah.
chocolate.
Again, unlike before where we did a stout that was flavored that way.
Yeah.
This is not flavored that way. It's not a coffee
this is
stout.
just a regular
It is not a
stout.
chocolate stout. But we're just saying it's got the bitterness that those have.
Oh, it's so good.
It's got the richness of flavor, the depth of flavor that those things do.
Go try it. West Sixth Brewing Company, Snake Eyes Imperial Stout.
Try it.
Drink it. Watch the movie. Do them both together. It's great.
Only one thing left now, man. What are we drinking next week?
Next week, we're doing Taft's Brewing Company. Gavel Banger American IPA. Gavel Banger.
So yeah,
There's
that's
a clue.
We went too far. We want to make sure you guys remember. That's a clue.
Gavel
That's
Banger.
what we're drinking next time.
That's your clue. Make your guesses on Facebook. You know,
It
under the-
might have a connection to some things we've done before. You know, sometimes I like to help you guys.
I feel like we've mentioned this movie before,
Definitely at least once.
at least once.
I'm not trying to give it away. I'm trying to help you guys. If you want to look back at our catalog, you might see something that can help you with what Gavel Banger.
Gavel Banger.
All right, man. I think we're done though. I think that's it.
All right, man. You want to go shoot some craps?